Welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. In Category 2, our penultimate race category, are away onto the course here in the Yabal Yace in Arabia on MyWhoosh on the Sunday Race Club monthly final for January. We are heading our way up towards the top. This humongously large pack, it's ridiculously big, is going to be thinned down. There is no way this group are going to stay together on the climb to the top.
Category 3 leaders goes past the Category 4 leading group and the Category 5 leading group.
Yep, Montgomery's the leader on the road at the moment with Joy Mayer, then Salgado, Wilhelm and Emery.
Gabby Guerra pushes on. Fua and McCarthy have now got to respond, and Kate McCarthy comes to the front of the group. Mel Bruni digs in.
Van der Vliet now holding 4.5. 4.9, 4.8 watts per kilo here. This is a continuing kick to put more time. Remember, once she's got that time gap, she could then hold off Ebring by holding that same pace. This is the run for the finish. This is going to be our first finish for 2025. Clary got the run. They're coming behind, and this is about time. And Kokkonen came from the back of the group to the front. It's going to be Noveline Kokkonen taking the first victory of 2025 on the Sunday Race Club Category 4 winner.
Hannah Embring goes. Does Van der Veer? Yes, she does. She tries to respond. She's in the draft, but she's not got the kick of Embring. Hannah Embring is going to win today. Category 3. First place, Hannah Embring. Femke van der Vliet is the rider in Category 3. She's going to come over the line for the win today. She's going to be the first rider over the line on the Sunday Race Club. She's going to take the win in Category 3. It's been a superb race, and Femke van der Vliet comes over the line, your winner in Category 3. This is it. She broke away with Embring from the rest of the race. Julia Montgomery couldn't stay with them. And then in the final 2 kilometres, Femke van der Vliet rode away from Anna Embring. She takes the win today on the January final of the Sunday Race Club.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. مشاهدينا الكرام متابعينا في كل مكان، أهلا وسهلا بكم.
سنين كلهم بتضغط، وهناك عندنا جابرييلا نوردن ميريكيت تنافس على سبرنت، أيضا نيلي ليرسون، وتصل أولا سيلين كولومبي في النهاية وتحصل أيضا على القميص الأخضر. كانت المنافسة بينه وبين جابرييلا نوردن. ميغان ستيفنز الأمريكية متقدمة وبالخلف الكوكب ب 24 ثانية. الفارق الزمني ليس بمطمئن كثيرا للاعبة ميغان، وخاصة أن الصعود القادم سوف يبدأ عند الكيلو 23 و700 متر. تنطلق الآن جابرييلا غويرا، اللاعب الذي لديها السبرنت القوي. كاترين فوهر أفضل الأسماء وأفضل الأرقام أيضا جابرييلا وكاترين فوهر. تنطلق، نشاهد جابرييلا بالنقل الحيوان مباشر والوصول لمن أولا المتسابقة فيمكي فان دي فان الآن، وما زالت ترفع رتم السرعة أكثر وأكثر بينها وبين أنا إمبريك. 3 كيلومترات على نهاية السباق، والمنافسة مشتعلة. المنافسة مشتعلة والمستويات متقاربة. أن إمبريك وفيمك فان دي فيلت تكسل، تنطلق بكل قوة و400 واط، تضغط وسرعة ترتفع إلى 45. الكل خلفها. هانا جوديل الآن خلفها. تعود هانا جوديل للتنافس مع تكسل، ولكن تكسل تنطلق وآخر 200 متر. هل تستطيع هانا أم نوفولي كوكونن أحد اللاعبات الجيدات في السبرنت؟ نعم بالفعل، نوفولي كوكونن بطلة الفئة الرابعة بأول سباق من سباقات سنة 2025. أن إمبريك تنطلق. نعم أن تنطلق وتتقدم أن إمبريك في آخر 50 متر، وتستطيع إنهاء السباق بالمركز الأول. أن إمبريك القميص الأصفر والقميص المنقط أيضا تقترب إلى نهاية السباق. 100 متر على نهاية السباق. فيمك هذه المتسابقة ولأول مرة نقول أنها فازت. نعم بالفعل سوف تفوز، سوف تدخل بالمركز الأول من الفئة الثالثة. فيمك هي البطلة، بطلة سباق العلا اليوم في المملكة العربية السعودية من الفئة الثالثة. هذه المتسابقة لأول مرة على تطبيق مايوش تفوز بالقميص الأصفر. اللاعبة فينك فان دي فيلت من الفئة الثالثة إلى خط النهاية، وبطلة السباق اليوم سوف تحتفل بفوزها الثاني على التوالي في جبل جيس. نعم الفوز لفيمك اللاعبة التي انتقلت إلى مايوش.
Hello and and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. It is qualifier race number 1 for February, and I am with you all the way through the women's and the men's race today. Stay with me, Emma Martin, for all of the action. Well, today for qualifier race number 1 in February, we are heading to Alula. We are heading to the course. Yes, we did indeed do this qualifier 3 in January, but the riders roll out of the pen for 47.8 kilometres of racing, 566 metres of climbing, out of the start pen through the Newtown sprint, and then at 12.8 kilometres into the Al-Faqir hills. It's a 3.7 kilometre section of rolling climbs, and then we transition through to the 24.3 kilometre marker where we hit the Vessel Rock climb. It's multifaceted, this climb, with many different terrain changes on the way up the 4.5 kilometres to the polka dot banner at the top. We transition through the Face Rock sprint, down at the other side, through the Siamese Rock sprint, and then on to the final climb of the day. It's 2.7 kilometres at an average gradient of 5%. And after the polka dot banner, there is the checkered flag at the top, and that is what our riders will be racing towards today. Well, we've got 6 race field categories down in the start pens there. You can see the multicoloured jerseys. Category 6 in those purple jerseys are going to be the first race field away today. Wheels United, the team on the line today, represented by Rona Tanglian. She took 3rd in the final last week and the sprint competition, so a great person to have on board Wheels United. The rest of the 15 riders in the Category 6 race field, all individual, not representing any teams today, but Veronica Areas, who took the win in that final last week, is here. So is Adriana Flores, who took 2nd. Tanglian took 3rd, as we've already mentioned. Ruby took 4th, and Voos took 5th. They are all on the start sheets today. They're in the start pen, and the green light is go. The Category 6 riders are up and out onto the first race of February on the Sunday Race Club, and the pack are rolling well. So Londano, Tanglian, Areas, Hooker, Voos, Flores, all in the mix here, being led out by Rona Tanglian. 1 or 2 riders just having a steadier start there on the back of the pack. One of them just moving into the wheels. The other rider just choosing to have a steadier start today. And we have seen that, and we have seen that work quite well, particularly last week when we were on the Yebel Yace. One of the slower started riders did indeed make the catch by the time they got to the climb, and it did indeed pay off. But Pollyanna Goss is the rider on the back there. So 10 riders out of the start pen, 10 riders away. There we are in with Rona Tanglian. We can see her down on that bike. Big screen in front of her, as well as that smaller screen. So multi-screens for Tanglian today, so she can keep an eye on what's going on. And well, she's a strong rider in this category, and expecting great things to see her engage in this race today with the rest of the Category 6 race field. So the pack rolling steadily out of the pen. Jenny Tan in the mix here as well. Good to see her in the group. Christabel Grace Paolo there as well. But it's now Adriana Flores who's taken up the charge on the front as they come through. And at the 800 metres mark, just out of the pen, they're rolling really strongly. They're up to just shy of 35 kilometres an hour, and the pack will move well. There's a small blip out of that start pen, and there are 1 or 2, I'm going to call them blips along the way. So for our viewers who are new to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club, let me just give you a quick run around the screen. On the top right hand corner of your screen, you can see the gradient and profile that our riders are racing. So the race pack we are in with are indeed the vertical yellow line on that graphic, and the parkour, the road in front of them at the moment flat, but you can see a small climb upcoming. Underneath, the zones indicate the zone the rider rider we are in with at the moment, and it indicates to you how hard they are working. So the higher the number, the harder they're working. Zone 6 there in that really dark red colour being a really hard effort. Zone 2, a nice steady pace. So Flores at the moment at a nice steady pace. In the mix, Edrana Flores is the rider. Well, it's not anymore. Daniela Londano is highlighted in blue underneath. That indicates that's the rider we're in within the pack, and it's their statistics, their stats that are on the screen. Now you can find those at the top in the middle of the picture. So at the moment, Londano 112 watts in green, indicating she's in the draft. If that number was white, it would indicate she was out of the draft. 3 minutes 8 seconds elapsed of racing. Her heart rate 165, her cadence 79, and there she is. She's just popped up in the screen on that bottom left-hand corner, and that is indeed where you will see the riders pop up. Great to see she's got company on the sofa. So fabulous to see the support for our riders, as you can see them in their pain caves doing the business and on the screen racing on the Sunday Race Club. Now, the one other graphic you want to be mindful of is on the bottom left-hand corner of the race picture. There is a satellite navigation view of the course. You can see they're about to go around a left-hand corner, then a right, and then a left. And you can see the main pack we are looking at, which is the larger blob of purple on the screen. One rider distanced. You can see that very, very clearly on that graphic as well. And in later stages of the race, it's a really useful graphic to keep your eye on, because it'll really tell you what is happening in the pack and happening in the racing. Well, Category 5, the light blue jerseys, will be the next riders out of the start pen today. Now, 20 riders on the start sheets today in Category 5, and we're in with Lisa Hopkins down on that start pen. Now, in terms of teams, Kitty Hawk Racing, represented by Jessica Hamilton today. She took the sprint competition in the January final, so she has one to watch in the sprints because she's got some really great power and a good kick. Levorcino, that is represented by Rona May Joy Mare today. Great to see them. They took the win last week in the team competition by a long way. Fabulous team, and represented by Rona May Mare today. She took second place last week, and in fact, there they go. The lights are green. Category 5 are away. They're up and out of the start pen. Now, Salgado, who took the win in that January final last week, has progressed. Congratulations to Category 4 today. So that's really good to see. We've also got Angie Christina Arrayas up from Category 6. She took the win in Category 6 last week, so she has progressed to Category 5. It's going to be really interesting to see how Arrayas goes. But a number of other riders in the mix here today. And Nikki Lloyd is here on the start sheet. She's in the race. You can see she's on your screen at the moment, right towards the front of that pack. She took 5th place last week in that January final. Isabella Giraldo took 4th. Sandra Ferron took 5th. Sorry, let me say that again. Sandra Ferron took 3rd. And really good to have all of those riders in the race field today. Dominique Charlebois is here as well as Jacqueline Kirchner. And the pack rolling well. We've got 1 or 2 riders just distanced off the back at the moment. I'm imagining that we're going to see one rider just push on, but the pace out of the pen really strong at the moment. The rider's just rolling around 40 kilometres an hour at the moment. So a good strong pace, a good strong pack. They've come out of the pen well. Ferron is on the front with Narvaez. Quapp is there as well, and Lloyd, Barco is in here, Anna Reyes and Giraldo. So really good to see this pack rolling strongly. In fact, we just got a little push on the back. I think we're going to see this pack all come together, other than the one rider that we saw take a steadier start earlier. Now, in that team competition last week, it was indeed Levorcino Sincho who took the win from the Cycle Chicks in this competition in Category 5. The winning race time from Salgado was 1 hour 56 minutes on the Yebel Yace. Phenomenal racing though, but Mare, Farron, Giraldo and Lloyd rounding out the top 5. Hamilton took the sprint competition. Salgado took the climbing competition as well. It was a fiercely competitive race, and I'm imagining February is going to be the same in this race field and this race category. Now, if you want to come and join the Sunday Race Club, it is really straightforward. You head over to MyWhoosh.com, you click on the events page, you scroll down to the Sunday Race Club, and that's where you will find the rule set, the technical guide, and everything you need to help you get on board in terms of how you set up your ride, how you engage in verification, and then how you get yourself on to the start line. And you can be here on the Sunday Race Club later this month, joining this group of Category 5 women, or Category 6, Category 4, Category 3, Category 2, or Category 1. You'll be slotted in to your appropriate category. And I'll tell you something, the racing is so tight and competitive in each of these categories because they are very well matched. So Nikki Lloyd in the mix here, Juliet Narvaez, Jacqueline Kirchner, Amy Sudabayo is in here as well. Ferron is here, Geraldo, Bridget Bremner is in the pack as well. Just as we're coming up over the bridge, and you can see the bridge, you can see the change of gradient on the top right-hand corner of your screen. It gives you an indication of the nature of the rise, and you can see just a stretch on the group, and that's because Jessica Hamilton has pushed on at the front here. Not an attack, but definitely a stretch on the group. Kirchner picking up the mantle, and it's a really interesting race course today in Alula, because that first set of rolling climbs comes at the 12-kilometre marker, but there are a number of bridges along the way, and you can see the damage being done on the right hand side of your screen to the Category 5 race field early on. Well, back down in the start pen, it's Category 4, the red jerseys we're going to see leave the start pen next. The Pedal Queens and Team Phoenix, the two teams represented, in fact, the Pedal Queens, Holweiler, De Gracia and Kekkonen, 3rd, 4th and 5th in the January final, and indeed that team took the team competition from Team Phoenix. Team Phoenix today represented by Lopez, Geraldo, Tompkinson and Zaluga. Great to have them in the mix alongside the 34 riders on the start sheets in Category 4, and new riders in here as well. Jarksok here, as we can see her, Justina coming out of the start pen. Pekarova in there as well. Kekkonen, De Gracia, all in the mix. Mongeli is there as well. It's a big pack coming out of the pen, and they have all come out together and got up to pace very swiftly. So it is indeed a flat start before we hit that first small rise. You can see that small rise just coming close to that corner up ahead. One of the riders on the back of the Category 4 pack just choosing to not go with the pace at the moment. So Stenman, Sonnerson, Marshall, Wood, all in this group. Ella Vink is here as well. Just as you can see, in fact, it's Ella Vink who's the rider pushing on at that small rise out of the pen and wanting to ensure the pace stays strong here. Novelin Kekkonen coming up onto her wheel and helping with the work at the moment. And it really is a strong push and a determined effort from Category 4 straight out of the start pen today. So we've got 3 of our 6 race fields in this women's race out and on to the course already. And the Category 4 race field still a slight stretch on the group because the pace is not backed off on the front here. And it's really good to see this strong start from Category 4, really wanting to mix it up. Now, last week in the January final on the Jebel Yace, it was Schultz from Wilhelm, De Gracia, Holweiler and Kekkonen in Category 4. And we've seen, Schultz and Wilhelm have indeed progressed to Category 3 from their performances last month in January. So that progression through our race fields showing Louisa Schultz took the win for the Pedal Queens last week. She's moved up to Category 3. Maria Wilhelm was second last week in Category 4. moving her up to category 3 as well. Now, Natalia Idzik, one of our really ever-present category 4 racers, took the sprint competition in the final last month, and there she is on our screen, and really strong sprinting from Natalia Idzik, and taking that competition. Rebecca Johnson. Now, we've talked about riders going up. We'll also talk about riders moving down, because Rebecca Johnson has dropped from category 3 to category 4. A period of ill health, returning to cycling, and just being juggled around those categories and finding an appropriate race field. And that's one of the joys of the Sunday Race Club. It can adjust to how you are and how you are racing and how you are feeling across the year, and your changes in form, as we've seen with Mina Koinstinen from category 1 to category 2 because of her pregnancy, and adjusting her racing and her power because of that. And it still allows riders to race and have competitive racing, even though circumstances may be changing in your life. Well, Natalia Idzik, part and parcel of the pack, the category 4 pack, going up and over the bridge. There is a bit of a push on the front, but it's not doing as much damage to this pack. Well, don't speak too early, Emma. It's not doing as much damage to this pack as it did to the category 5 pack, but there is indeed a stretch on this category 4 group. And it's Gina de Gracia who is the rider on the front, and just doing that push over the top of the bridge. But she sits back up, Montoya closing it down, and coming back up to de Gracia's wheel and bringing the rest of the pack with her. Well, category 3 will be the next race field at the start pen, our largest race field in this women's race. 43 women on the start sheets today in category 3. We've already talked about the 2 riders from category 2 who have come up, but we've got 3 teams represented today. La Rosa Blanca, Holly Bergin is representing and leading the charge for La Rosa Blanca today. The Pedal Queens, Louisa Schultz, coming up from category 4. And the Sunday Crew version 2, Stephanie Briggs, a Canadian rider, is the rider representing them. So it was Team Europe who took the win here last week in the January final, with first, second and third Van der Vliet, Embring and Montgomery. We'll talk about where they are today in a moment, because they're not in this category race 3 field. They have indeed progressed to category 2, leaving those top 3 steps. Well, the competition is wide open. Lam Kong, great to see her returning to racing. It's been a little while since she's been with us on the Sunday Race Club. It's going to be fabulous to see what she can do today. Lorena Beltram, Eva Esler, Stefani Piccolo, Sarah Carullis, all in this field as they stretch the pack coming out of the start pen in category 3 today. First 200 metres to get up to 40 kilometres an hour. It's fast out the pen today. Bridget Kiddle is there, Angelica Altamarino. They are all pushing. Ramet is there as well as Takanis. Now, it was indeed Van der Vliet, Embring and Montgomery who took the 1, 2, 3 in the Jebel Yace final for January last week. In fact, Van der Vliet also took the climbing competition. Bulwara was 4th overall, Walkenhurst 5th. Desenia took the sprint competition in category 3. Team Europe taking the win from the freewheeling Spirit. And 8 minutes, 27 seconds, the gap between those 2 teams. And for those viewers who are not aware of the team competition coming at the end of every month on the Sunday Race Club. And riders need 2 verified finishes to compete in the final. And those teams, 3 to 5 members. The fastest 3 riders across the line, their times are added together, and that gives you the team competition. Well, Lorena Beltran on our screen at the moment, one of the strong riders here in category 3, and ever present on the Sunday Race Club. So great to see her in real life on our screens, as well as in the pack. Category 3, one of our very strong the strength and depth here in category 3 is fabulous, and the size of this race field absolutely phenomenal. And what is always interesting is dependent on the course and the profile of the course, different riders, different strengths, and that is always great to see. So the team competition last month was really interesting. We just talked about category 3. Team Europe versus the Freewheeling Spirits, 8 minutes 27 seconds, the difference in category 3. In category 4, Pedal Queens from Team Phoenix, 14 minutes 35 they took that win by. First, third and fourth the Pedal Queens had versus 7th, 8th and 12th for Team Phoenix. It really does count. Even if you're not in the top 5 and you're not racing for the win, your time is so important in that team competition. In category 5 women, as we said before, it was Level Cinco from the Cycle Chicks, 9 minutes 1 second separating those two teams. And in category 6, Intercontinental took the win with first, second and sixth versus third, fourth and fifth from Wheels United. 16 minutes the difference in that team competition. What's really interesting is the differential between category 3, 4, 5 and 6 in terms of the times between the winning teams and category 1 and 2. We'll talk about the names of the teams once they're out the start pen, but category 1 and 2. Category 1, it was 22 seconds, the winning margin in the team competition. And in category 2, just 18 seconds. Very, very different in comparison to 3, 4, 5 and 6. Karolina Chuzikowicz is on our screen at the moment. Great to see Karolina again. She's in the mix in category 4, and you can see the push coming on here now, and that's because they've gone through the sprint banner at the first sprint on the course today, coming at that 5.3 kilometre marker. And you can see that Jessica Hamilton, that was in category 5. This is category 4. Natalia Idzik goes, we said Idzik, she loves a sprint competition, I'll tell you. Taking that sprint competition in the final last month, doing the business for the first ride in February as well. Idzik taking the sprint on the new town sprint. Just 3 sprints today as part and parcel of that competition. The new town sprint. In fact, Natalia Idzik at the moment saying the fastest time through that sprint on the course so far today. Well, Idzik doing the business in the sprint, being rewarded with the green skin suit in that category 4 competition. Now, each race field will be allocated a green skin suit in the sprint competition, and a polka dot skin suit in the climbing competition, and they will be awarded in each of the race fields. Now, Jessica Hamilton just pushing on at the front of the category 5 race field in that green skin suit. She has indeed taken the sprint competition in category 5. In category 6 is Daniela Londano, who took that first sprint from Veronica Ares. So the first 3 race fields out of the pen today, all through that first sprint. So Jessica Hamilton pushing on at the front of the group at the moment. Interesting tactic as she comes into the next short climb. Now, the climb here, not a categorised climb, but you can see it on the top right-hand corner of your screen. The gradient just starting to kick at around 4%. And Hamilton giving herself a run into that. She's a strong sprinter, but there are stronger climbers in the group than Jessica Hamilton. So it's an interesting tactic, giving yourself a little run into the climb to give yourself a bit of sliding room, because Isabel Giraldo is coming. She's sending a charge here. Angie Quapp is indeed pushing on from Canada. Sandra Ferron, Dominic Charlebois, Isabel Giraldo, Nikki Lloyd, all coming up. It's just a short climb, but you can see the stretch on this category 5 group. It really is a long stretch back down the climb. There you can go. Hamilton in that green skin suit has been caught by the leading group here. So that run into the climb, the base of the climb, really giving her that slippage room. Really good tactics. Smart riding from Hamilton. She knows where her weaknesses on the course are in comparison to her competitors. and she is planning how she races and how she rides to ensure she stays in the leading group, even though she knows some of her competitors are stronger climbers. Great work from Hamilton there, but Geraldo, Arraias are all pushing on strongly and at the front of the pack. On the back of that pack, you can see they've dropped 1 or 2 riders, and there's a potential for a third to get distanced as well. Going to need to do a little bit of work on the flat here and into the descent to close the gap down. This is where they need to push, and often it's a hard push because you've already done the climb. You're on your limit, trying to stay with a group of riders who are slightly faster than you, and then someone says to you from the commentary box, you need to push on the descent. Well, they do, or else they're going to be distanced, and at the moment you can see that distance, that gap now starting to really appear. So 3 riders distance on that climb at the 10.2 kilometre marker into this 47.8 kilometre race in category 5 on the right hand side of your screen. On the left hand side of your screen, that's the category 4 race field, and they are rolling strongly as well. Category 3, well, they are coming into the sprint. They're coming into the end of the sprint, and it is absolutely manic here. Kittel is pushing on, so is Remer. But the big push, well, that came from Catherine Montoya. 12 watts per kilo average from Montoya through that sprint, and she set a phenomenal time. Larissa Heiborg Boa is there as well. Rhiannon Denton is there too. But it is indeed Montoya who will wear that green skin suit, picking up the points through that sprint competition. Now, there are more than one sprint along the way. There are indeed 3. And through each of those sprints, the leader or the top 5 in each category, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, they pick up points. The points are added together, and then there is an overall sprint competition. It's exactly the same in the climbs as well, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. First of all, it's category 2. Category 2, our next category out of the start pen. 28 riders on the start sheets today in category 2. The 2 teams, core, represented by Kalman, Colquitz and Field. The Recorba Collective, Helen McKay, the rider representing them today. Now, Kalman was 3rd in this category 2 competition last week. Joanne Prado is here. She was 2nd. Penna has gone up. We saw that earlier on in January. But Stevens, Megan Stevens, who was indeed in the race field, not here today. Well, anyway, so De Silva is indeed here. So is Ekham Poulsen, Colquitz, Sunik, Giannatti is in the race field as well as Kasani, and really good to see Dana Davison is here as well. Kate Tridden, this field coming out of the start pen. Van der Vliet coming up from category 3 into this race. So it's going to be interesting to see how she goes. She's been riding really, really strongly in category 3 throughout January. So category 2, the top 5 last week in that final. Stevens, Haag, Kalman, Prado and Giovanni. And just taking a little look, Sophie Giovanni goes up to category 1. Olberg, Falensky and Penna all went up in January as well. Makes it an interesting category 1 competition, a little bit more to push and to drive them there. The performances in category 1 very, very strong, but the performances in category 2 very, very strong as well. Susnik in here as well as Embring. Helen McKay, we've talked about representing the Recorba Collective, and we'll drop it in with Asulia Kasani, one of our riders, ever present as well, and always great to see Kasani in the race field. Now, this category 2 race are very, very tight. Look how wide they are across the road, and how short the little stretch on the group is. A tightly packed group rolling here at the 1 kilometre marker, 37 kilometres an hour. And we're in with Kasani here at the moment. She's going around 140 to 150 watts. Just that time elapsed on the top. Her heart rate 147. Her cadence high, a great cadence from Kasani at the moment. And you can see on that zone segment, she's sat in zone 2. So a nice, comfortable pace for Kasani at the moment. We'll drop up in with Paulson. She too is sat at that zone 2 pace, which indicates this category 2 race field having a nice steady start today. Category 2 on the right-hand side of your screen. Category 5 on the left-hand side. And you can see Category 5 now coming into that first climbing segment of the day. The first climbing segment, the Al-Faqir Hills, 3.7 kilometres of rolling sawtooth profile. You can see it on the top right-hand corner of that Category 5 race picture. Nikki Lloyd leading them in with Ferron, Quap, Giraldo, Charlebois, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 riders now at the front of that Category 5 race field. They are indeed on those hills. 8 riders in the Category 6 race are ahead of them only. Those riders are a little bit further ahead through the segment, and you can see the rolling nature of the terrain here over the bridge. So up and then down. And one of the key things here for these riders is to try and take the momentum from the descent into the climb, and it's much harder done than said. I've tried. And the fatigue from the climb, particularly when you get to the latter stages of that segment, and you know you've got to kick on the descent to take the momentum into the next climb, it's really, really challenging. Well, Mina Coinston on our screen at the moment. Great to have Mina with us, part and parcel of this big Category 2 race field, riding and racing strongly at the moment. Great rider to follow on social media if you are interested in women's racing and the ins and outs of life and racing as well. Really, really would recommend you take a look at Mina Coinston's social media. Down in Category 1, you can see down in the start pen, the Category 1 race field are awaiting the green light. Ablock International, Larson, Soderstrom and Hermansen. Supernova, Bassoni, Tomasi and Van Hove. The Sweat Sensations, Fua, Bruni and Velt. The Thundercats, Guerra, Columbi, Kulczynski and Bjarhead. And Core, Sophie Giovanni, coming up from Category 2, are joined by McCarthy, Menendez, Sidlik, Van Schuur, Nordin, Enstrom, Alberg, Falensky and Penna. There are 23 riders on the start sheets today. They are up and out of the start pen, and you can see mixed amongst those yellow jerseys. Yep, those are the rainbow bands of the world champion, Kate McCarthy. Fabulous to have her in the race field and fabulous to have that jersey on the Sunday Race Club. So it's a steady start out of the pen for Category 1 today. Nordin is the rider we are in with at the moment. Now, Gabby Nordin took the sprint competition in Category 1 last week in the January finals. Fabulous to see that taken by Gabby Nordin. Gabby Guerra took the climbing competition, and she also took the overall win in 83 minutes 55 seconds from McCarthy, Bruni, Fua and Holdcroft. And it was Ablock International finishing their top 3 riders in 2nd, 6th and 11th who took the win from the Sweat Sensations, who finished 3rd, 4th and 10th. That winning margin, 22 seconds. The level of competition in this Category 1 race field, just phenomenal. So Stephanie Sidlik in here from the USA. Congratulations to Stephanie Sidlik, who took the age category competition in the USA National Cycling Esports Championships yesterday. Congratulations to her. Fabulous to see she's now in the Sunday Race Club. The elite competition in that USA Cycling Esports Championships comes up later today. I'm expecting us not to see Kristen Kolczynski in this mix today because she'll be defending that championship title that she took last year a little bit later. You can tune in for that on MyWhoosh. But there are other national championships as well coming up on MyWhoosh. So the USA National Championships, the age categories were indeed yesterday. The elite racing is later today. The Swedish Championships taking place on Friday, the 7th of February. I'm sure we're going to see Nordin in that as well. There's a number of the other riders. I'm sure we're going to see Lisa Hermansen as well, but it's Francesca Tomassi who's on our screen at the moment, the Italian rider. The other national championships taking place shortly on MyWhoosh. The Canadian national championships will indeed be taking place on the 8th and 9th of February. That is next weekend. So lots of national championships coming up in the cycling esports place. But right now, this is the Sunday Race Club. The women are out racing in Category 5. The leading 5 riders, Amy Sidibayo, Sandra Ferron, Ange Quap, Nikki Lloyd and Dominique Charlebois have just gone through and passed the leading riders in the Category 6 race, that pack being led by Rachel Hooker. But the Category 5 pack, you can see coming towards the end of the Al-Faqir Hills section. They've got one more ascent to go until they are through that section. And Nikki Lloyd, well, she is doing a sterling job here with Ferron and Charlebois, Sidibayo and Quap. Those 5 riders locked together in the Category 5 race. The riders behind in Category 6 are stretched across the road, and Hooker desperately trying to hang on to the back of the pack and make the most of this section. So we drop in with Sandra Ferron, and you can see up and out the saddle as she goes through the kick. That's the banner signifying the end of the climbing section of the Al-Faqir Hills. The push is on. Ferron is up and dancing on those pedals at the moment to come through that segment. And it's going to be interesting to see who sets the fastest time there. I think that's going to be Amy Sidibayo, and she's going to take the polka dot skin suit. There she is in that polka dot skin suit. Nikki Lloyd on the front of the pack, just backing off the pace and taking as much recovery as possible on the descent. It's going to be a long, flat transition. In fact, it's 7.8 kilometres now until they get to the Vessel Rock climb. A little bit of respite if you can drop back into those wheels like Nikki Lloyd has just done. She's just dropped back in to Amy Sidibayo's back wheel, trying to get some draft. There we go. The numbers change it to green. That indicates that the rider is in the draft, and they're going to want to stay behind and have riders on the front of the pack to take as much rest as possible, to save as much energy, reserve those energy tanks and rebuild them before they hit the Vessel Rock climb. Well, Category 3, we said they were a big race field, and they are our largest race field, but look at the acceleration going into the climb. They've just gone underneath the polka dot banner for the Al-Faqir Hills. What an attack on the front. Denton is there, Hill is there, Riddle is there, Essler and Briggs. This is a phenomenal push on the front, and they're leaving that Category 4 rider, Myra Madeira, as though she's standing still. They are piling past the Category 4 riders. This is the Category 3 pack. Kate McLeod is in there, Stefani Piccolo, Barbara Bulwara, Brittany Litton, Angela Altamarino are all in the mix. Up and over the first bridge as they drop down the other side. Any respite? No. They're continuing to push, and they are making the most of the momentum. They are making the most of stretching the group and doing the damage here on this first set of climbs. The pack, well, they've lost 1 or 2 riders. It's such a well-matched group, Category 3, that you have to work hard to drop anybody. up and over the next short climb they go. And these are only short, sharp climbs, but look at them, they're 9%, nearly 9% the gradient here. And I tell you something, you really do feel it. They are really hard work, this rolling section. It really saps the legs much more, I think, than one long climb where you can get into a rhythm and settle into a pace. This is an up, down, up, down, up, down, and it really does play havoc with the legs. Well, we're in with Catherine Tompkinson, and you can see the screen in front of her and the look of concentration on the face. She's towards the final section of these hills, this sawtooth profile climb. She's got one more climb to go. She drops down this descent, and she's leading the Category 4 race field through to the final climb on the Al-Faqir hills. Tompkinson leading the way. We're going to see her just up and out the saddle there, and you can see the cadence and the push on the power. She's pushing towards the polka dot banner that will signify the end of the climbing section. It's just around the corner here. There it is. You can just see it now. She's coming up and past Sarah Jane Voos, the Category 6 rider, but Johnson and Tompkinson now coming to the fore. Idzik is there and Kokkonen. They all want the fastest time through the segment, and Natalia Idzik doing a phenomenal push there. So was Rebecca Johnson. Who's going to take it? Woohoo! It's going to be Tanya Holweiler. She snuck up on the back and came through the pack, and that's one of the tactics here, not just drumming through the pack on the sprint to make the most of the draft, but if you want to set the fastest time on the climb and you go into the base of the climb with the group, drop to the back, come back through to the front, and even if it's just hundredths of a second, Tanya Holweiler showing us how it's done, doing the business and picking up the polka dot skin suit for her efforts. So Holweiler from Johnson, from Idzik, from Tompkinson, from Kokkonen. Those are the top 5 riders, or the top 5 fastest riders through that climbing segment in Category 4. They're on the right-hand side of your screen at the 17.2 kilometre mark into the race. They're now onto the flat transition towards the Vessel Rock climb. A little bit further back down the race course at 5.2 kilometres. This is the Category 1 race field, and Catherine Fuhr right on the front here with Amelia Velt. But this is a steady pace for the pack as they come into the new town sprint. They are the last race field to come through. Pia Kuma set the fastest time in Category 2. Catherine Montoya, the fastest time in Category 3. And Natalia Idzik, the fastest time in Category 4. Who's going to set the fastest time in Category 1? Is it going to be Nordin, Filensky or Giovanni? They're all going for it at the moment. Who's going to set the fastest time? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Bridget Filensky turns green. She changes from that yellow jersey into the green skin suit. Bridget Filensky sets the fastest time through the sprint. Mika Soderstrom came through the pack. She wasn't at the front, she was at the back, but it wasn't enough for Soderstrom because Filensky, well, she will be resplendent in green. So Filensky sets the fastest time on the new town sprint, 13.47 seconds. Soderstrom in 2. Pia Kuma from Category 2. In 3rd place, Sophie Giovanni, Category 1. Then it's Catherine Montoya from Category 3, Natalia Idzik from Category 4, Pekka Kova from Category 4 as well in 8th, Van Schuur from Category 1 in 9th, and Larissa Heiber from Category 3 in 10th. It's a multitude of coloured jerseys in that top 10, and great to see. So the Category 1 race field, 1 or 2 riders just dropped from that race field, and those sprints, even if you're not contesting the sprint, you need to drop up to zone 5 or 6 to stay with those packs as they stretch through, or else you do end up sometimes being dropped from the group, and that's not what you want to see. So even though you might not want to contest the sprint, you still need to lift your effort to stay with the group, but a measured lift of your effort is what is required. Well, Category 1 on the left-hand side of your screen, Category 2 on the right, Category 2 just coming up on to that small climb at the 9.4 kilometre marker. It's a small climb, but it is enough to stretch the group, and it has indeed stretched the Category 2 group, but not as much as we've seen in some of the earlier race fields. So Giannatti, Embring, Tridden, Kuma, Karamani is in there as well as Paulson. And you can see the stretch there just coming on the group. It's looking like we've got one or two riders in a little bit of danger on that Category 2 race field. Well, Category 1 at 6.9, Category 2 at 9.7, Category 3 16.9 kilometres now, Category 4 18.8. And you can see the packs rolling and the riders really pushing. So Category 4 have... it's still a big group in Category 4, rolling at that 19-kilometre marker. They've picked up a Category 5 rider as well who's been able to stay with them. Category 3, you can see the group led by Ramer, but the pack is big. It was a big race field, Category 3, 43 riders on the start sheet today. It's still a big race field at the moment, and we'll try to give you an indication of how many riders are in that race field very shortly when they go through one of the segments. Category 2 at the top are still rolling and rolling strongly. Again, they've dropped one or two riders from that race field, but not many. Category 1, it's a very steady start for Category 1 today. So Category 3 and Category 4 on your screens at the moment. Category 3 at 17.6, they're coming up and over the bridge, but this is a flat section here. They're on the flat transition towards the Vessel Rock climb. So are Category 4. On the right-hand side of your screen, there's one or two... always going to call them blips there. But if you look at the top right-hand corner of the screen on the Category 4 shot, there are one or two indentations in the road. Now, the Sophie Ramer is on our screen at the moment. The rider, Stephanie Briggs and Ramer are the two riders on the front. Ramer is in the polka dot skin suit, having taken the fastest time in Category 3 through the Al-Faqir Hills. Altamirano, Denton, Briggs, Carolus, all in this group. Kiddle is here as well. So really good to see the pack rolling very strongly here. Now, the next thing they're going to see is the Vessel Rock climb. That doesn't come till the 24.3 kilometre marker. Category 3 rolling, and you can see on the bottom left-hand corner of their screen, Category 4 markers ahead of them. Those are back markers. In fact, Montoya only 17 seconds up the road. Now, Montoya's going to face a choice when this Category 3 pack get to her. Does she try and stay in the group and take some draft and move up and through the race field? A large pack like this rolls quicker than a single rider at the same power. So at the same watts per kilo. So that could be a choice of Montoya as this pack come through. But Ramer, Dental, Walkenhurst, Dijkstra, Heiber, Piccolo, Essler, Linen are all in here. So is Kim Bonilla. Kim Bonilla riding very strongly as well. And it's going to be interesting to see how she goes today. Now, if you want to test it yourself on MyWhoosh, there are other races than the Sunday race club. You don't need to join the Sunday race club to test yourself. If you enjoy being a tester, well, there you go, testing yourself against the clock. The individual time trial series and league will be running throughout February. One route each week, daily events. You can pick your day, you can pick your time, and you can test yourself against the clock on the time trial course each week. There's a weekly leaderboard and a monthly GC, so you can test your competitive self against yourself, against the clock, but against others as well. You can ride as many of them as you want in the week, and your fastest time will go through to the weekly leaderboard and the monthly GC. Keep your eyes out for those individual time trials. There's also a team time trial coming, and you can register your team for. Keep your eyes peeled for that as well. So if testing is your thing against the clock on an individual level or as part and parcel of a team, there is something for you on MyWhoosh as well. Category 1 on the left-hand side of your screen, Category 2 on the right. Now, Category 1 started 5 minutes after Category 2, and the time gaps between all of our race fields today, giving them a clean start. Category 1 on that small rise, and it is indeed Francesca Tomasi, the Italian rider we were in with earlier, pushing on the front there, but all the riders keeping close together and just testing their legs, but the pace now backed off straight away as soon as Tomasi comes to the top of the climb. So Tomasi, Van Hove, Larsen, Nordin, Alberg, Bassoni, Engstrom, McCarthy, all at the front of this group. Menendez is there as well as Tiffany Penner. The riders keep rotating because the pace is steady. They're all around zone 2, zone 1, so easy pace at the moment from Category 1. Category 4, well, they're a little bit further down the race field. We've got Noveline Conan on our screens, Gina De Gracia and Camilla Salgado, as you can see them on your screen on the left-hand side in that window of their pain caves. It's a big pack at the moment on the road, rolling at 21.8 kilometres. They've not got far to go until they hit that Vessel Rock climb, that multifaceted climb with multiple steps, flats, and even downhills on it as well. It's a constantly transitioning climb, and that is the nature of this course today. Constantly transitioning climbs until we get to the final climb of the day, where it is a 2.7 kilometre single climb, constant climb coming at the end, but we are not there yet. We're 22.1 kilometres into a 47.8 kilometre race in Category 4. Kekkonen, Co, De Gracia in this group, and they've just got Jackie Giuliano actually from Category 5. You can see her just squeezing on to the back of that group with them for company. Good work from Giuliano to stay on this group and to stay in this pack. They're giving her a good ride and a comfortable ride, and she's able to take the draft. Now, we were talking a little bit about start times, and the reason Giuliano has been caught by the pack and is able to take the draft because that's allowed. So let's talk. Category 6, the first race field out of the start pen, 5 minutes before Category 5, who start 5 minutes before Category 4, who start 5 minutes before Category 3. Then there's a 10-minute gap between Category 3 and Category 2, and then a further 5-minute gap to Category 1. So 30 minutes separating the first race field out of the start pen to the final race field out of the start pen. And if any of our later starting race fields catch the riders from the earlier starting race fields, the draft works between the race fields. So everybody gets a clean start, everybody gets a clean run in, but we do indeed see some, not all, some race fields make the catch, and some race fields will make multiple catches as well. The plan around the staggered starts should give us much more equal finishing times and allow us to see multiple races finish within a shorter time window. There's method in the madness. Well, Category 2 on the Al-Faqir Hills now. The sawtooth profile climb ahead of them are on the first bridge. They just dropped and descended. They're now onto the second climb. And you can see the stretch on the group. We're in with Prado, Gonzalez, Rua and Lundin. And you can see into those windows of the worlds of our riders whilst we watch them on the bridge in the race itself. One rider just dropped off the back of the group and the stretch now comes on because Sarah Lundin is on the front of the pack. Seated in her pain cave, whereas Prado's up and out and dancing on those pedals. And Kolkowitz is there as well. Field is there. Eck is there. Manshandi. It's a big group and they're still wide across the road. Well matched, this group. That is definitely for sure as they come to the top of the second climb and start the descent. The pace comes off. The recovery is on. It's a micro rest before they go again. Well, micro rest it may well be, but the next climb comes very, very quickly. Joanna Kalman is the rider we are in with this time, and you can see the hydration and energy and fuel on the side, the towel as well, because it's hot work. The window is open, and Kalman is concentrated because she needs to stay in this pack. She needs to stay with the group. She's a strong rider. She finished third in the January final on the Yebelier. She's a great climber, and this is her type of terrain. She really needs to stay in the mix and pay attention. Derna Davidson is there, man. Shandy, Prado, Embring, Kuma, Giannatti. They are all strong riders and racers. But this category 2-pack, I can tell you how well matched they are because they are wide across the road, telling me equal power coming out of those riders. If they are wide across the road, they are well matched. If they are strung like a long string on the road, there's a big differential in the power and ability of those riders. On the right-hand side of your screen, Category 2-pack, they are coming towards the end of the Al-Faqir Hills. They've got one more to go. The Category 1-pack on the left-hand side of your screen have just gone under the polka dot banner, signifying the start of that climbing segment. They are on their way. So category 3, 4, 5, and 6 have all gone through the Al-Faqir Hills. Kate Tridden is the rider pushing on at the moment. She wants that polka dot skin suit. Dorothy Gonzalez-Rua also wants it because she's done a big push from behind. I don't know who's got it. Well, actually, Kate Tridden has got it because we've just seen it pop up. So Tridden rewarded for that push towards the end of that segment, picking up those extra fractions of a second to take that skin suit. So the polka dot skin suit and the segment prize going to Kate Tridden today on that first segment of climbing. 2 more climbing segments to go on this course, and she's now going to sit part and parcel of the pack and take some recovery. Van der Vliet, who we were talking about, who won the Category 3 competition last month, still in the leading group here. Not surprising, she also took the climb competition in Category 3, so she's a very strong climber as well as a fast rider. Dropping into this Category 2 race, really, this is going to be about sensible riding for her and taking as much energy recovery as possible. And it's going to be interesting to see where she finishes. But Tridden, Kasani, McKay, Wagner, and Echt all in that group through that climbing segment now. In fact, '23 riders in that Category 2 pack. That's phenomenal. There's my word of the day. Phenomenal. Okay. Category 1, they are the last group of riders to come through the Al-Faqir Hills. Sophie Giovanni is in the mix here. Amelia Velt, Tomasi, Alberg, Larson, Penna are all in here. And take a look at that. It's a tight-knit group as well. Nobody's being dropped off the back of that group. They are all staying together at the moment as they come to this small rise. You can see the rise here alongside the rocks. Up and over this segment, they'll drop down the other side. The next climb is longer. They're not the same length, these small climbs. They're all different lengths, and some really short and sharp and punchy, others longer and taking more effort. But as we watch, it's Kate McCarthy who went over the top of that one first. She backs off the pace. Cornelia Engstrom we're in with on the screen, and you can see the effort and the work and the concentration to stay in the group at the moment here. Sidlick is the rider just off the back of the group now. She raced the age categories in the USA Cycling Esports National Championships yesterday, taking the win in her age category. I'm not surprised there are some tired legs there in the Sidlick house, but at the moment the push is on the front, and McCarthy is the rider at the front. Guerra, Fua, Bruni, Larson. In fact, there you go, Gabby Guerra on our screens at the moment. You can see her up and out of the saddle on those pedals, pushing on this section. Just a couple more climbs to go, but McCarthy is pushing on here. It's a bit of a push from Kate McCarthy on the front. It's just a 2-second gap, but she's just squeezing on those pedals and just saying, follow me. So Kate McCarthy in that World Championship rainbow bands jersey, backing off the pace on the descent, but she is ensuring she's really tapping out strong power on the climbs, on the ascents. And there she goes again. So just kicking now into the next climb and kicking still while she's got the momentum from the descent onto the ascent. The pack behind, take a look at the width of that pack. The pack are coming. The category 1, Racefield, Tomasi, Velt, Larson, Olberg is in there as well. They're 2 seconds back on McCarthy at the moment, but they are not going to be worried about that. They are indeed pushing on. 1 or 2 riders distance off the back of the group, which you can see on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. You can see them in the distance. They're not able to stay with the main group of category 1 riders through this section, but the pack now bringing back McCarthy as McCarthy goes up and over the top. She really kicks that time into the descent. And the reason to kick into the descent is to pick up the pace, pick up the momentum and the up those kilometers per hour, or kilometers an hour, kilometers. Put my head in gear today, Emma. But McCarthy, Fua, Velt, Menenzes, Penner and Soderstrom all in this category 1 group. And we've got a rider just distance off the back there. They're going to need to push on and close that gap down. But Guerra is the rider with Soderstrom. In fact, Soderstrom, look at the kick from Mika Soderstrom. She's gone, no way are you getting away from this. We're going for the polka dot banner. Soderstrom and Guerra both kick hard on that final climb, going for the polka dot skin suit. And Mika Soderstrom, who did not get the green skin suit, takes the polka dot skin suit from Gabriela Guerra. Both of them pushed for that, and Soderstrom took it. So Mika Soderstrom takes the polka dot skin suit and the fastest time through the Al-Faqir Hills, 5 minutes 16 seconds, half a second quicker than Gabriela Guerra. Mary Kate McCarthy coming in 3rd. Catherine Fua, Marlene Bjarhead, Francesca Tomasi, Amelia Velt, Tiffany Penner Melbruni, and Roberta Bassoni round out the top 10. 17 riders in that leading group in category 1. That's a good sized group, rolling now for the 7.8 kilometre transition to the Vessel Rock climb. So Soderstrom comes to the back of the group and sits in. That's the category 1 Racefield at 17.3 kilometres. The category 5 Racefield being led by Nikki Lloyd. They are on the front of the race, and at 28.4 kilometres now complete of the 47.8 kilometre race. They are indeed on the final section of the Vessel Rock climb. Nikki Lloyd has found her climbing legs, I can tell you. It's great to have her back on form. Riders over the year, really strong form, and then the form goes, and you can't hold your form every single weekend of the year. And Nikki Lloyd coming back into form. She'd had an operation and she'd needed some recovery time, and her recovery took her longer than she thought. But it's fabulous to have Nikki Lloyd back at the front of the category and racing strongly. So Nikki Lloyd, Amy Sudabayo, neck and neck on the climb of the Vessel Rock climb. Sudabayo in the polka dot skin suit on the shoulder of Nikki Lloyd, because Nikki Lloyd pushes again and she's pushing towards the top of the climb. It's just around the corner is the polka dot banner, but look at that, another kick from Sudabayo as she wants to come past Lloyd, and she's come past Lloyd. She wants to hold on to that polka dot skin suit. Now, Lloyd needs to not let her go. It's not about the polka dot skin suit. This is about winning the race, because the two of them are clear of Ferron by 15 seconds. And then Ange Quap, 37 seconds back, and she's got a group behind her, Arayas, Bremner, Schalbois. They will all come together, I think, once this climb is over. But the Vessel Rock climb is really an interesting section on the course, because you get to the top of the climb, you transition across the top, and then there's a small descent before a flat plateau. Then you climb again before the main descent. Now, also on the climb, the category 4 race field, and Gina de Gracia, Catherine Tompkinson, Tanya Holweiler, the rider in the polka dot skin suit, Hanna Pekakova, all at the front of this group and pushing on those pedals. And this group have gone clear of a bigger group of Category 4 riders behind. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in this Category 4 race and about whether that larger group come back. But at the moment, Holweiler and Tompkinson pushing on at the top here. They've still got some way to go before they get to that polka dot banner. They've got 1, 2, 3 corners left on the climb. Holweiler, Tompkinson, Johnson, Mongeli, Salgado, Kokkonen all in here at the moment. Let's see who comes out on top. So far, only 7 riders from Category 5 up and over the top of the climb. Well, I say that as it changes, and we've now got 9. Sudibayo, Lloyd, Ferron, Bremner, Areas, Mayer, Giraldo, Quapp, Kirchner and Schalbohr are the top 10 riders already over and through this section. The next riders we see come through are going to be the Category 4 pack, and Holweiler, Tompkinson and Johnson are battling it out now for the fastest time on the climb. They're on your screen at the moment. Johnson, De Gracia, Holweiler and Tompkinson. And you can see them pushing here. Holweiler in the skin suit. Johnson comes up onto her shoulder. Rebecca Johnson, look at the drive there from Johnson. She wanted to try and pick up those points and the fastest time. Will Holweiler hold on to that polka dot skin suit? Yes, she does. Take a look at that. So Tanya Holweiler holds on to the polka dot skin suit. She has the most points in that climbing competition. And in fact, she just takes the fastest time up that climb as well from Rebecca Johnson. Great to see Johnson really digging in and having a go there and trying to take that from Holweiler. So Rebecca Johnson's second again to Holweiler on that climb. Salgado in 3, Tompkinson in 4, and Pekakova in 5th. Great racing in Category 4 up the climb, and let's just take a look. 14 riders in that leading group in Category 4, all up and over that climb now. So 14 riders leading Category 4. This is Category 1, and take a look at this. This is Francesca Tomasi, and she has attacked Category 1. And I tell you what, this must be a phenomenal move, because she's caught them napping and she has ridden away from them. You know, we've been saying week after week that Tomasi is getting better and better and better on the Sunday Race Club. And one day she's going to win it. And this could be the day, because Tomasi has caught the Category 1 pack napping. Bruni, Penna, Biarhead, they are all having to start to respond. But Bruni, well, the pace is not there. Tomasi setting a great time trialing pace here. And if she can hold this to the Vessel Rock climb, and then she starts the climb with a gap, we are going to see some great work here from Tomasi, and the group behind are going to have to do something, because they cannot discount Francesca Tomasi. She is one class rider, part and parcel of the pro women's peloton. Tomasi, well, you know, it's going to be her turn soon, I tell you. And it could well be today. So great move from Francesca Tomasi, the Italian rider, and going clear now of this pack of chasing riders in the Category 1 race field. So the Italian rider, you know, she's ridden some phenomenal races. The Giro d'Italia Donna, 37th overall in the general classification. She is not a rider to be discounted at all. And I'll tell you something, she is a time trial specialist. That should worry. Let me say that again. That should worry the riders on the left-hand side of the screen, because Tomasi is time trialing her way away from them. She's now got 18 seconds. She is clear of that chasing group, and she's in time trial mode now at 22 kilometres into this 47.8 kilometre race. With 23 kilometres to go, she could indeed time trial to the finish. Great racing. What an attack from Tomasi. This is going to be a superb Category 1 race, because what can the pack on the left-hand side of your screen do? Fua, Busoni, Van Hove are all in there. So is Kate McCarthy. They may well be waiting for the Vessel Rock climb to see what they can do. But if Tomasi has got anything about her, setting this pace, setting this rhythm, she's now at 21 seconds. Do you know, she could be taking 30 seconds into the base of the climb, and 30 seconds for Tomasi. If she holds this pace, and she can hold this pace to the end of this race, this well could be the winner of Category 1 today. What an attack from Francesca Tomasi in the Category 1 race. She's now 24 seconds clear. I tell you, I'm not sure what this group are thinking at the moment. They're looking at each other rather than looking at Tomasi, who's down the road. Bruni, McCarthy, Fua, Alberg, Van Hove are all at the front of the pack, but there's no inclination to chase. Wow. It's going to be a good one. Well, if you're interested in joining the Sunday Race Club, the Sunday Race Club is indeed growing, and it is great to see. So currently today, we've got 163 women on the start sheets today in the Sunday Race Club. Natalia Idzik is up and out of the saddle, and take a look at the sprint Idzik's putting in here. 10 watts per kilo. She wants to hold on to that green skin suit. Look at the effort and work from Idzik in the pain cave, holding on to that sprint. It is indeed the Face Rock sprint, and that was a phenomenal head-to-head from Katarina Koh and Natalia Idzik. And I tell you, Koh takes the sprint time, but Idzik holds the skin suit because she's got the most amassed points. And the Category 3 race field are just behind them. There around the corner come the Category 4 pack. And here around the corner go the Category 3 pack. Sarah Carolus takes the sprint for Category 3. But these two big race fields are about to come together. It will be 30 riders on the road, a big pack of riders. Now, talking about a big pack of riders, we've got 163 riders on the start sheets today for Qualifier 1 in February. We had 137 in the final last week. In fact, the average race field for the Women's Sunday Race Club in January was 144. So at 160, February looks like we are going to grow. Well, Brittany Litton is the rider at the front of the Category 3 pack. And I tell you, really interesting move from Litton. Up and out the saddle. Take a look at that now. Brittany Litton has seen an opportunity. She's seen the fact they're about to catch the Category 4 race field. 30 riders coming together in this race. And Litton has gone, I do not want to be caught in the confusion. I don't want to get stuck with the Category 4 pack. I am going. I am putting an attack in. We're coming into the climb as well. We've got to push. We've got this bit of climb coming up. I am going, and I'm going to utilize the Category 4 pack to ride through and take the draft into this pack. And Litton doing a sterling job here, up and out of the saddle and pushing on this section of climb. Now, it's not part and parcel of a categorized climb, but it's past the Face Rock sprint. It is quite a sheer face, but it's pretty much an average gradient you can see until we get to the kick at the top. And Litton doing a sterling job here. Ramet and Denton Briggs, Leon all pushing here. Philippa Hill is there. Eva Essler is there as well. Hadlock, look at the work being done by Hadlock. Litton has lit the touch paper here. She's lit the fire under her wheels as she's gone through the Category 4 pack. The Category 4 pack, well, they are out the back because the Category 3 pack are motoring. They are chasing Brittany Litton up the road, and it is smashing the Category 3 pack apart. It was a huge group of riders in Category 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I reckon that's a chase group of around 10 riders chasing Brittany Litton up the road. Well, as Lytton continues to push a little bit further back down, we see the push come now at 24.9 kilometres. They are on the Vessel Rock climb. We saw Tomasi go clear. She's 15 seconds up the road, and Mika Soderstrom has decided to take the bull by the horns. Soderstrom and McCarthy have attacked. They've pushed hard into the climb, the base of the climb. This is the flat section. It's a multi-staged climb, the Vessel Rock climb. The climbs themselves are short and sharp and steep, but then there is respite. Well, we saw Soderstrom push, but McCarthy's now picked up the mantle. She is pushing hard. Guerra now trying to close down to McCarthy's will. She's digging deep, digging really deep at the moment is Guerra. She wants McCarthy's will. Bruni, Menendez and Fua are all trying to pick up the pace as well and close down McCarthy, but McCarthy, she is intent on closing down Francesca Tomasi, the rider who time trialled away from the pack, and Tomasi now still 12 seconds up the road from McCarthy. McCarthy is dialing it. She's absolutely digging deep. She's got Tomasi in her sights, but can she close the gap? Well, Tomasi takes the corner. No one can see her at the moment. She's gone, but McCarthy is not giving in. Guerra, can she hold the pace of McCarthy at the moment? No, she can't. McCarthy's at 6 watts per kilo here. This is a massive dig from Kate McCarthy, the world champion. She is desperately trying to close the gap to Tomasi, but the gap now behind her. Guerra at 5 seconds. Bruni at 7 seconds. Fua Alberg, Hermansen 14 seconds back. That's the main group in category 1. They are all chasing Francesca Tomasi, who lit this race. She fired the touch paper. Absolutely amazing work from Tomasi earlier on. She rode away on the flatlands between the Al-Faqir Hills and the Vessel Rock climb. There she is. She's up and out the saddle. She's doing the business. She's doing the work on that bike. The world champion Kate McCarthy is the rider trying to close her down. Gabby Guerra second in those world championships, a silver medal holder, trying to close the gap to McCarthy. Bruni is trying to close it down as well, but Tomasi continues to work. She doesn't panic. She continues to hold the pace. They go into the next section of the Vessel Rock climb. Tomasi leading the charge. McCarthy leading the chase. Guerra, well, she is trying to hang on to the coattails of McCarthy. So is Bruni and Penna. Fua as well. The chase is on behind, and there's a big pack of Category 1 riders in that chase. But the solo riders off the road, well, look at this. McCarthy has caught Tomasi. What can Tomasi do about this? Can she stay with the world champion? This is what she needs to do. She now needs to dig. Tomasi has been working so strongly to go away. Can she now stay with McCarthy, the world champion? McCarthy continues to dance on those pedals in those rainbow stripes. She's 2 seconds ahead now of Tomasi. The pace is off of Tomasi. She can't go with McCarthy. The gradient is about to drop. It's going to be flatter. The draft is going to be there. Guerra is going to be coming. Who've dropped in with the Category 2 race field. And Van der Vliet, who's progressed to Category 2 from Category 3, is at the top of this race with Kate Tridden and Gothlander as they come to the polka dot banner signifying the top of the Vessel Rock climb. The action lower down on those slopes in Category 1, but the action at the top of the climb from Category 2 sees Tridden pick up the points and the fastest time so far in the climbing competition. And that pack of Category 2 riders, it is still 22 riders. They dropped one rider on the Vessel Rock climb today. This is going to be a superb Category 2 race. Those riders are so well matched. It is just amazing. Well, here's 2 riders well matched. Can Guerra and Tomasi do anything together to bring back Kate McCarthy, the world champion? She's now got 10 seconds on Guerra and Tomasi, but Guerra and Tomasi are now together, and Tomasi desperately trying to seek some recovery on Guerra's will. Fua leading the charge behind with Bruni and Menendez. You know, they're only 9 seconds back on these two. It's not a big gap. So McCarthy in 1, 7 seconds clear of Guerra and Bruni as they go into the final sections of this Vessel rock climb. They are not far behind the group of Category 2 riders. In fact, Category 2, Eileen Francisca de Silva, only 11 seconds up the road. In fact, McCarthy is about to come up onto her wheel. So the Category 2 race field not that far up the road from the Category 1 race field now. As we see McCarthy at the head of the Category 1 race, Tomasi and Guerra locked in battle there, leading the charge. Bruni and Fua, two teammates on the Sweat Sensations, still pushing on hard behind as McCarthy pushes on the climb. She comes around the bend. There's still some way to go before she gets to the top of the climb. Well, about 500 meters. This is the world champion, Kate McCarthy, doing the business on the Vessel rock climb, putting the gap into Guerra and Tomasi. What can those two do once they get to the top? And is this the race-winning move from Kate McCarthy? So Guerra pushes on now, and Tomasi has now been dropped. She can't stay with the pace of Guerra. So McCarthy and Guerra now clear of Tomasi. That move from Tomasi did not stick. They did indeed bring her back on the Vessel rock climb. There's Guerra. You can see on the shot on the screen, up and out the pedals, dancing on those pedals on that bike. That's the polka dot banner. She's going to come through and underneath the banner. McCarthy's already gone through. She's 10 seconds up the road. 10 seconds. Can Guerra close this down? Because McCarthy is already dropping the pace. And she picks it back up again. There's some micro rests going in there from McCarthy at the moment. She's 11 seconds clear of Guerra. Guerra does not back off the pace. This is Fua and Tomasi. So Fua has caught Tomasi. Interesting move. Bruni is now 4 seconds back. Biarhead, Velt, Penna a little bit further back as well. But Menendez is there too. These riders now scattered all over the hillside. It's going to be an interesting race. So McCarthy climbs the quickest today. The Vessel rock climb. Guerra, Fua, Bruni, Menendez, Velt, Biarhead, Penna, Olberg, Hermansen and Tomasi. Tomasi only the 11th fastest time up the Vessel rock climb. So Kate McCarthy, 7 minutes 34 seconds up the Vessel rock climb. Guerra, 7 seconds slower. Fua, Bruni, Menendez, Velt, Biarhead, Penna, Olberg and Hermansen. Tomasi losing over 35 seconds to McCarthy on that climb. Well, further up the race. Last time we were in with Category 3, it was one rider down the road, Brittany Litton, 10 riders chasing. Take a look at that. Litton is back in the bunch. They have caught the front of the race because Nikki Lloyd and Sandra Ferron, the Category 5 riders, are in the pack. And that is a big group of riders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Category 3 riders. So we haven't lost anybody from the last time we were in there. Stephanie Briggs is on the front, so is Brittany Litton. Sandra Ferron and Nikki Lloyd tucked in tight and sitting in the draft at the moment, and really showing us how to use technique and skill on the MyWhoosh platform to stay in with that Category 3 pack. They're at the 39.3 kilometre marker, an hour and 4 minutes of racing for the Category 3 race field, and they are coming up for 8.3 kilometres to go. Quick maths there. Well, the front of the race field being led by Category 3 and Category 5 at the moment, and they will very shortly be coming towards the Siamese Rock Sprint at the 44.2 kilometre marker. Then a very quick transition to the final climb of the day. It's a 2.7 kilometre climb with an average gradient of 5.5 5%. 45.1 kilometers that climb starts at, and that is the final road we will be on today. Now, that's on the right-hand side of your screen as they tick onto that 40-kilometer marker with 4.8 kilometers to go. You can see the 3 rollers that they have to face before they get to the sprint. On the left-hand side of your screen, at 31.5 kilometers with 50 minutes of racing under her wheels, it is Kate McCarthy. The world champion's jersey has been changed into a polka dot skin suit because she set the fastest time up the climb and took the points in the climbing competition. So she will indeed go through the Face Rock sprint in that polka dot skin suit. Gabby Guerra in 2 in that race at 10 seconds. Then a large group of Category 1 riders, Fua, Menezes, Bruni, Tomasi and Velt at 25 seconds. So interesting to see how that Category 1 race unfolds as well. The other races on your screen as well. Category 2, the last time we were in with them, there were 22 riders in that race field, but I can see 1 or 2 riders being dropped on the climbs after the Face Rock sprint that they went through. And it really has done the damage to what was a group of 22 riders. So a smaller group now coming through, but not that small. So Van der Vliet, Poulsen, Embring, Lundin, Gothlander, Prado, Poulsen, all in that group. And as we said earlier, it's such a strong group and so well matched, that Category 2 race field, that it's going to be a big group, I think, coming into that final climb together. Now, Category 4, Gina de Gracia, Hannah Perkarova, Tanya Holweiler, Rebecca Johnson, all together on the road on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen at the 40-kilometer marker as well. They're not that far behind, well, they're 900 meters behind the leaders on the road. So Category 3 and Category 5, the leaders on the road at the moment at the 41-kilometer marker. Category 4 at 40 kilometers. And last time we were in with Category 4, there were 14 riders in that leading group. Now, Kate McCarthy leading the Category 1 race on the climb here at 32.8 kilometers. This is the climb after the Face Rock sprint. And so they go up the Vessel Rock sprint, they drop slightly. There's a flat plateau where the Face Rock sprint is. Then they climb, then they descend, and then they climb again before they do the main descent off of the Vessel Rock. Now, McCarthy, it was a gap last time we were in with her at 10 seconds to Guerra. It's now at 9 seconds. So interesting to see the change, but pretty much holding steady. What is changed, or what has changed, is the gap back to the chase group now at 30 seconds. So Bruni, Menezes, Tomasi, Fua, Velt, all in that chase group at 30 seconds to McCarthy. But those gradients changing at the moment. It's going to be interesting to see what happens once that group get onto the flatlands shortly. So dropping back in with Category 4, Gina de Gracia is at the front of this race field. Catherine Tompkinson, they hit these rollers now at this 40.8 kilometre marker. These are the 3 rollers before the Siamese Rock sprint. And just coming and putting a stretch on the group at the moment. And you can see on that bottom left-hand graphic, the stretch really coming. This is a mixed group, Category 4, Category 3, and some Category 5 riders. And the Category 5 riders are the ones having trouble staying with the group, not surprisingly, on these rollers. So Gina de Gracia and Catherine Tompkinson, the 2 riders at the top, at the front of the Category 4. Camilla Salgado is in there, as well as Novelin Kokkonen. It's still a big group of Category 4 riders here. A smattering of Category 3 riders. In fact, 4 Category 3 riders in this group as well, mixing with the Category 4 pack. It's a big group rolling on the road as they take this right-hand corner and they drop onto the descent before the next short, sharp climb. So Category 4 have been out now for 1 hour and 14 minutes of racing at the 41.4 kilometre marker. Through these rollers, they then go through the Siamese Rock sprint and then into and onto the final climb of the day. I'm not expecting to see such a big group of Category 4 riders at the top of that climb, but I can always be surprised. So the Category 4 race field rolling strongly. So are the other race fields today out on the course. Briggs is currently the leader on the road at the moment. She's heading the charge in the Category 3 race. Brittany Litton, Philippa Hill, Angela Altamirano all there as well. And that group now rolling strongly. At the 43-kilometre marker, they are very shortly going to come up onto that final sprint of the day. That's where that final set of points for that green skin suit competition will come. On the top of your screen, Kate McCarthy is still leading Gabby Guerra. It's 11 seconds at the moment. The chase group with Bruni Tomasi Fua at 33 seconds now. So the gaps for Kate McCarthy just stretching slightly at the moment. So 11 riders in the leading group of the Category 3 race. Last time we were here, I think there's still 11 riders in here at the moment. Briggs, Altamirano, Rame, Litton, Carolus, Piccolo, Hill, all in the pack. Denton is here too. Is really rolling strongly and fast at the moment. They're just shy of 40 kilometres an hour at the moment at the 43.8k marker. They have 4k to go. So it's a flat run into the final section here for the Category 3 race. They're at the front of the race as well. They're very shortly coming up onto that final sprint. It's going to be interesting to see whether anybody in this front group contests the sprint or whether they save themselves for that final climb. And they sort out positions in this race. Who's going to take first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th positions and prizes down to 10th place in the individual competition. Category 3. Well, the winner of Category 3 is going to walk away with 2,880 AED or $784 US today. 10th place is 180 AED or 49 US. Other exchange rates are available. So prizes and places are important, but Brittany Litton pushing on there through that sprint, wanting to pick up the sprint competition as well. Now that's going to be interesting because the rider who has amassed the most points in that Category 3 sprint competition is not in the leading pack. So Litton, Carolus, Altamirano, Briggs, Kiddle, Denton, Piccolo, Estler, Hadlock, Bonilla, Rame, Hill, Lennon and Vasquez. There are 14 riders in the leading group in the Category 3 race. Nikki Lloyd goes through the sprint right now. She's leading the Category 5 race. Fabulous to see Lloyd riding strongly again. And congratulations to her picking up that sprint there and heading through that section. She is clear of second place at the moment in that Category 5 race. So Brittany Litton now leading the charge on to the final climb of the day in that Category 3 race. Rame and Kiddle Hill all in contention behind. That's going to be a 14-rider race up that climb to the checkered flag at the top. It's going to be interesting to see whether Litton, who's been really aggressive in this Category 3 race today, really instrumental in terms of driving the attacks in Category 3, can she take the win today? Well, that's on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. On the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, that's the Category 4 race. They are about to come into the same sprint segment, and you can see the pickup of pace here. Gina De Gracia and Katerina Ko really pushing on. There you go. Ko really going for the sprint. Pekka Kova going as well. Gina De Gracia not pushing on the pace. I think she's going to be saving herself because she's going to want the overall win today. She's a strong rider and she loves climbing. So as Ko goes through there, in fact, it's Katerina Ko who sets the fastest time in Category 4. Hannah Pekka Kova, it sets the second fastest time. Gina De Gracia picks up third. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 riders in the leading group in Category 4 now, down from 14. It's 8 riders who are going to contend that Category 4 race. And I can confirm Amy Sudibayo and Sandra Ferron, the two riders chasing Nikki Lloyd in Category 5, have also gone through that section. So Brittany Litton, Rhiannon Denton, Stephanie Piccolo, Vasquez Ultramarino, Esler and Kittle, all still locked in battle on the climb on the right-hand side of your screen in Category 3. Kate McCarthy is now 21 seconds clear of Gabby Guerra as she comes to the bottom of the Vessel Rock climbing section, that big long section up and over that climb. Guerra is at 23 seconds. The chase group, Bruni, Fua, Menenzes, Tomasi at 40 seconds back. It's going to be an interesting race now. Can McCarthy stay clear in the final stages of the race? She's got around 8 kilometres to go now till she comes through. She's actually got 9 kilometres to go. Let me get my maths right. But McCarthy is pushing on now. She's working her way through the back markers in the Category 2 race field, and she's not that far behind the front of the Category 2 race field. They are 800 metres ahead of her on the right-hand side of your screen, and Paulson, Embring, Karamani are all going to be surprised when they see Kate McCarthy. They're going to be trying to hang on to her coattails, but they're about to come into the climbing section at the 40-kilometre marker. They're coming into those 3 rollers before the Samurai Rock Sprint. The racing is now unfolding here in Qualifier 1 of February on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. We've got Category 1 leader on the left-hand side of your screen, the world champion Kate McCarthy in the polka dot skin suit, signifying the leader of the climbing competition in Category 1. On the right-hand side of your screen are the leaders in Category 2, and if they turned their heads, they would very shortly be seeing McCarthy behind them. But the push is now on, and Poulsen, Kalman, Kolkwitz, Kuma, all in this group, and strong group here. And you can see 1 or 2 riders just getting distanced from the Category 2 race back as they head into the rollers, but it's still a big race field. They've got 1 or 2 Category 3 riders mixed in that they've caught up to. It is Anna Caramello who is getting distanced at the moment. She's putting a big push in here, trying to get back onto the pack. Helen McKay and Jenny Eck are the 2 riders off the back of the group. Can Caramello get back into the group as they go into the climb? She's giving it all of her effort here. Maria Wilhelm, the Category 3 rider, is the rider who's going to be in trouble, but potentially she's going to give Caramello a little bit of draft and to see if she can run into the group, but I don't think Anna Caramello is going to get back in to the group. They're going to ride away. They were stronger. She got dropped. They're now 7 seconds up the road. Wilhelm is a Category 3 rider she's going to see. Then she's going to come up onto Holly Bergin. She's the next Category 3 rider who's just getting distanced on these rollers from this leading Category 2 race field. Kate Tridden, Van der Vlier are in the mix. They are the riders on the back of that group. Kate McCarthy, though, goes into the start of the 3 rollers that the leaders are just exiting on the Category 2 race. So an hour and 3 minutes of racing for Kate McCarthy in Category 1. She's at the 40.9 kilometre marker, 6.9k to go as she goes on to the top of the first of these 3 rollers. She's around 8 seconds off the back of that pack, that leading group in Category 2. Now, we said the climb may break the group, but look at what it's done to it. It's on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. We had 14 riders go into the base of the final climb in the Category 3 race together. 1, 2, 3 riders dropped clearly from the group. Then a lead group chasing, and they are chasing Denton and Piccolo at the moment, who are 3 seconds up the road. Just 3 seconds. They've got 600 metres to go as they continue to push. 500 metres to go. Denton and Piccolo are clear, but the chase is coming from the pack. Are they going to reel Piccolo and Denton back in? Can Denton and Piccolo stay clear? Wow, they do not want to look over their shoulder. They want to look to the finish. Do not look back. Focus on what's in front of you, because what's in front of Denton and Piccolo is the UCI banner and the finish line, and it is coming fast. 300 meters to go. These two have ridden clear of the group of 14 riders who went into the base of the final climb together. That's the banner, and the group are closing. It's 3 seconds now as Kittle continues to push. Bonilla and Ultramarino are there. So is Brittany Lytton and Eva Essler. Lytton has been instrumental in the race. What can she do? It's at 3 seconds now, but that's the banner. Can anybody catch Piccolo and Denton? Piccolo is pushing, so is Denton, but Bonilla and Ultramarino are coming. Can Piccolo make it? Will Denton come past? This is Ultramarino. Will Ultramarino go over the top? I don't think she does. I think it's Denton from Ultramarino from Piccolo. That was so close, but Rianne Denton takes the win in Category 3 from Angelica Altamarino and Stefani Piccolo. Eva Essler takes 4th, Kim Bonilla 5th, Brittany Lytton 6th, Bridget Kiddle 7th, Sarah Carolus 8th, Manuela Vasquez 9th, and Lee Sophie Rame 10th. I can tell you, the top 5 riders in that race separated by 1.5 of a second. That was a brilliant start to February in Category 3. What can Category 4 do? No pressure, Hannah Pecker. No, Pekakova doing a phenomenal job on the climb here. She comes towards the latter stages of the race. She's into the final kilometre now, and the chase is on behind. So let's just take a look at where we are. Pekakova, Salgado, Johnson are all moving on the climb. Mongeli is there as well as Coe. They really are motoring their way up this final mountain. I've seen Nikki Lloyd in the mix as well. She's still leading the Category 5 race, from Sandra Ferron. Amy Sudabayo is there as well. But with 600 meters to go, Hannah Pekakova has just gone past Nikki Lloyd. So this is going to be the finish of the Category 4 race that we are going to witness. We're then going to see the finish of the Category 5 race, because Nikki Lloyd is leading that Category 5 race, and she's 6 seconds back on Pekakova. So Pekakova pushing, but the chase is on behind because Kekkonen and Johnson are chasing. So is Salgado. They're going to come up and past Nikki Lloyd. They are 8 seconds back on Pekakova, but I don't think Hannah Pekakova can be caught. Well, I've been known to eat my words before, but Pekakova is pushing, but Kekkonen is coming. Kekkonen, Salgado and Johnson have not given up the charge. Novelin Kekkonen is chasing Hannah Pekakova in this Category 4 race, but surely Pekakova has got this. She's got 300 meters to go. So the chase is on behind Hannah Pekakova in the Category 4 race. This is Qualifier 1 in February for the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. Novelin Kekkonen, Rebecca Johnson, Tanya Holweiler, Camilla Salgado are motoring behind, but Hannah Pekakova has gone clear of the leaders in the Category 4 race. She is going to take the win today in Qualifier number 1 in February in Category 4. She sees the UCI banner. She's 6 seconds clear of Kekkonen and the chase group. They can't do anything now because Hannah Pekakova takes the win in Category 4. So Pekakova takes the win. Kekkonen pushes. Johnson is there. Novelin Kekkonen is going to take second place today, or is she? Did Rebecca Johnson get that on the line? That could well be an upset in Category 4. But Category 5, Nikki Lloyd has ridden clear of the chase group behind. Ferron was her closest rival, but Nikki Lloyd returns to the top spot of the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club and takes the win in Category 5 today. Well, Sandra Ferron rode strongly in Category 5 and gave Nikki Lloyd a strong race today. but she did not take the top spot. She's ridden clear of Amy Sidibayo. She's 47 seconds clear of third place today, and she continues to push up the climb. She sees the UCI banner. She's going to come through second place in that Category 5 race today, behind Nikki Lloyd, who took the win in 1 hour, 34 minutes and 25 seconds of racing. Sandra Ferron is going to come through in second place today. So just having a quick look at the Category 4 results, Pekka Kova was given the win from Rebecca Johnson, Kukkonen, Holweiler, Salgado, Tompkinson, De Gracia, rounding that out. As we drop back in on the right-hand side of your screen with our Category 5 race, Sandra Ferron sees the UCI banner, will take second place in the race today in Category 5. Amy Sidibayo is pushing on up the climb with Dominique Charlebois close on her heels, actually, for third place in the race. So Ferron comes underneath the banner to take second. The race is on for third. This is the Category 2 race field, and last time we were in with the Category 2 race field, there were 22 riders in the leading group. There are not 22 riders now because the push is on the final climb. They're at 45.7 kilometers. They're coming up with 2K to go. Tilly Field, Dana Wagner, Manshandi, Kuma, Prado, Kolkowitz, Paulson are all in this leading group on the right-hand side of your screen. 100 metres behind them is Kate McCarthy leading the Category 1 race. Kate McCarthy leading the Category 1 race is about to come up onto the back of the leaders in the Category 2 race. They're on the right-hand side of your screen. McCarthy on the left-hand side of your screen. Interestingly, though, there you go, she goes back into that polka dot skin suit. And you can see she's just behind Embring and Karamani, dropped from that leading group in Category 2. Karamani just off the back, you know, not far off the back, and she's going to see McCarthy come past her. McCarthy's going to go past Wood first, the Category 4 rider. Then she's going to drop onto Embring and then Karamani. And the question is, well, they're not going to be able to hold the wheel of the world champion, Kate McCarthy. But the push is on, and the continued push really showing behind at the moment. So, Category 1 race field, catching the front of the Category 2 race field. Phenomenal work going on here from McCarthy on this final climb. So McCarthy now coming up onto the back of the Category 2 leaders. Pushing on now with 1,500 metres to go in this race. Van der Vliet, Gothelander, all about to see those rainbow stripes as they come past the Category 2 pack. What can they do? I don't think they're going to be able to do anything about McCarthy. She's going to go straight past them today and head towards the finish. There is going to be a big pack of Category 2 riders really wanting to hang on to the coattails of the world champion as she races past today. The group behind are chasing and chasing strongly, but they are not close to the world champion today. Kate McCarthy showing her dominance in the Category 1 race for the first qualifier of February. The Category 2 race field, well, Van der Vliet, Prado, they're the riders who are going to see her next. Gonzalez Rua is there as well. She's slowly working her way through this Category 2 race field, and Category 2 race field no longer together. As we see the push, they're trying to stay, but there's no way you can stay with the world champion when she's on a charge. Kate Tridden in the polka dot skin suit in Category 2. Can she stay with her? She's got the best climber at the moment, but it's Amanda Paulson who's on the front of the Category 2 race. Kolkowitz, Kuma and Kalman Tridden are there as well as Field. This pack continuing to motor. They've got 700 metres to go. It's looking like it may well come down to a sprint in the Category 2 race. It's not going to be a sprint in the Category 1 race because Kate McCarthy is climbing this mountain. Poulsen, Tridden, Kummerfield, Kolkowitz and Kalman. Poulsen pushes on now. She's not got long to go now. It ticks again. It's 400 metres. This is the push for the win in Category 2. This is the drive for the line in Category 1. They are all together and they are going to see the UCI banner very, very shortly. McCarthy has gone through the pack. Dana Wagner sticks onto her wheel like glue. Pia Kuma is there, so is Amanda Poulsen as well. Joanna Kalman, Tilly Field, Kate Tridden are all motoring. Dana Wagner leads the charge. McCarthy's on her wheel. Who's going to take the win in Category 2? McCarthy's going to take the win in Category 1. Kuma, Wagner, Poulsen, where's the win going to come? I think Dana Wagner is putting the push in here now. Pia Kuma lifts the pace. Kuma comes up. Can Kuma go over the top of McCarthy? McCarthy goes, I'm going to take this. I'm the world champion. Pia Kuma goes, no, I'm going to take Category 2. It's Dana Wagner. Kate McCarthy, Pia Kuma across the road. Pia Kuma takes Category 2. McCarthy takes Category 1. Dana Wagner takes second place in Category 2. We just called 2 race finishes across the line together. McCarthy resplendent in those World Championship rainbow bands. Category 2, what a race. Gabby Guerra not far behind. Well, she's never far behind because Gabby Guerra pushing on here strongly on the climb. That's the UCI banner. Gabby Guerra going to take second place today in the Category 1 race. She's ridden clear of everybody else but the world champion as Guerra comes up to the UCI banner. Second place today on Qualifier 1 in February for Gabriela Guerra in Category 1. So Guerra doing the business. Catherine Fua has ridden clear at the moment of the chase group behind. So Fua was with Menezes and Bruni in that chase group. But Fua has ridden clear in the final stages. So Catherine Fua riding strongly on the climb once again. So fabulous climbing from Fua. She sees the UCI banner is just around the corner. She's going to take third place today in Qualifier 1 in February. And it is going to be a superb race and time today for Catherine Fua. And there is the banner. So third place today for Catherine Fua today. It's looking like Mel Bruni is going to have a battle with Jacinia Menezes for fourth. They're coming hard at the moment, but Fua is going to go underneath the banner for third place. Menezes comes through for fourth. Mel Bruni will take fifth today in that Category 1 race. Francesca Tomasi looks to me like she will come through for sixth. Do you know, congratulations to Tomasi. She took the race by the horns and she tried something different. It didn't pay off today, but she's rewarded with sixth place today. She comes underneath the banner. So Kate McCarthy taking the win in Category 1 today on the Sunday Race Club with 1 hour 16 minutes of racing on the course here in Alula. And I can tell you that is a new PB for the women on this course. The previous record held by Guerra, 78 minutes, 76 minutes to Kate McCarthy today. Guerra beating her previous record today in terms of time, setting a new PB herself on the course for second place. Catherine Fua in 3, Jacinia Menezes in 4, Mel Bruni in 5, and Francesca Tomasi in 6. Rihanna Denton taking the win in Category 3. Piccolo Esla Bonilla. Pia Kuma taking the win in Category 2. Wagner, Poulsen, Field and Kalman. In Category 4, we saw Pekarova, Johnson, Kokkonen and Holweiler. Category 5, we saw Nikki Lloyd take the win from Ferron. Category 6, are not across the line yet, but they will be soon. It's been absolutely fabulous to join the women for Qualifier 1 for February. Stay with me, Emma Martin, because we will be back shortly for the men.
Welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. They will be looking forward to the Yabble Yace, all of them having ridden the real thing in person. However, at the moment, it's Jakob Björklund leading this group out, and Björklund has gone on the attack for the Abu Dhabi team. Mr. X100, who is off the front, has continued to push here. Simmons has gone upward to that front group. SS comes across as well. The pressure of that sprint, that kick has gone on, and anybody now who expended too much energy could be in trouble here because the push continues onwards.
They're at 33.1 kilometres. That's the head of the Category 4 race. The head of the Category 3 race at 31.7 kilometres. They too are now on the Yabble Yace as well. So 4 of our 6 race fields on the Yabble Yace.
Osborne's come to the front. Is this where we start to see the damage being done?
Well, Osborne comes to the front and starts his own tempo, and that's exactly what Jason Osborne tries to do. He just goes to the front. He doesn't put in a big dig. He just rides to Osborne's tempo.
Bertrand has snapped. He kicks again. He's looking to respond. Mukhtari is holding the wheels. You can see the pain leaching out of the screen at you at the moment because Bertrand is responding. He's going to come back to Mukhtari.
In with Christophe Labneau on our screen. He's on the avatar. He sees the UCI banner. He goes under the banner to take the win in Category 6 today. The first time Category 6 has raced on the Sunday Race Club, and he takes the win. Simon Betts, who broke away from the group. The group are coming, but they are not coming fast enough. Simon Betts is going to come over the line for first place today in Category 5, and quite right too. Celebrations all round. Congratulations, Simon Betts.
The UCI banner is in sight. Kennett should surely hold on to take away the win, to take a solo win in Category 6. He's taken the polka dot skin suit. He's the best climber in the day in Category 6. He's the first rider over the line in qualifier race number 3. Your race winner, it's Dylan Kennett. It's the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club monthly final for January 2025. Maciej Skierski is going to take victory here today. The Category 4 winner, the first rider over the line, Maciej Skierski, winner on the Sunday Race Club.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. مشاهدينا الكرام متابعينا في كل مكان، أهلا وسهلا بكم.
ومحاولات كثيرة لهذا البطل واستطاع على الحفاظ على مكانه في المقدمة. يأتي إليه جيري وبين كيرك، 3 متسابقين في الأمام، والفارق بينهم وبين الكوكبة 10 ثواني. ومن الذي يدافع بالخلف في مقدمة الكوكبة؟ نعم، هو الإماراتي أبو عامر، وجيد جدا، وخاصة في نقاط الصعود 160 يرتفع الهارت ريت إلى زون الخامس والسادس مع مستر إكس 100، وتحسن واضح بالأداء وبالمستوى وبالهارت ريت لدى دراج مستر إكس 100. يصل الآن ثانيتين الفارق، يبقى الفارق بين الكوكبي وبين الدراجين الثلاثة في الأمام 11 ثانية. ووصول جيسون أوزبورن ومايكل فينك إلى الصدارة، يصلون إلى مقدمة الفئة الثانية، نعم إلى الكوكب الأولى من الفئة الثانية، يتجاوزون جميع الدراجين من الفئة الثانية في هذه اللحظات. يذهب إلى المركز الأول للفئة الثالثة في آخر كيلو ونصف، ويقترب إلى الدراجين الذين من الفئة الخامسة، ومن ثم سوف يكون أمامهم فقط توم وولكر والبولندي ماتشيك.
أول سباق لهذه الفئة البولندي كريستوف الآن إلى خط النهاية، الأمتار الأخيرة يصل إلى خط النهاية. أول الفائزين للفئة السادسة المستحدثة 2025، وأول فوز في هذه الفئة الخامسة 2025 لسايمون بيتس في هذه اللحظات. نعم أنه يحتفل بهذه الطريقة الخاصة.
دايليان، نعم ديليان ينطلق ويذهب إلى المركز الأول، بالفعل ينهيها النيوزيلندي من الفئة السادسة بالمركز الأول لأول مرة، وهو بطل القميص المنقط والقميص الأصفر أيضا. الآن توم وولكر خلفه، الفارق 5 ثواني بين الدراج توم وولكر وبين البولندي ماتشيك والمركز الأول. ألف مبروك لهذا البولندي والأداء الكبير والبطل النهائي والقميص الأصفر والاحتفال في هذه اللحظات من قبل الدراج بالمركز الأول.
Hello and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. It is Qualifier, race number 1 in February with me, Emma Martin. My co-host Matt Payne, well, he's somewhere on the finish line in a commentary box at the UCI World Cyclocross Championships today. So it's just me here in the studio and you out there watching the Sunday Race Club, along with around 291 competitors in this race field, this men's race in February. Well, we are heading to Alula for qualifier race number 1 today. 47.8 kilometers of racing, 566 meters of climbing, and there is the course in front of you. They come out of the start pen. There are some bridges along the way into the Newtown Sprint, and before they hit the Al-Faqir hills at the 12.8 kilometre mark. Now, that really is a sawtooth profile for that climbing segment. It's 3.7 kilometres long, and it will stretch the Greeks before they transition towards the Vessel Rock climb. It's like a multifaceted climb, really, and many, many steps and segments and descents along it. They go along the top, which is not flat, through the Face Rock Sprint, and then they climb their way out from there before the main descent, and then the run to the Siamese Rock Sprint, and then the final climb to the finish line. Now, the sprint competition in play today, 3 sprints along the way, 200 metres, 3 climbs making up that climbing competition as well. So a really strong race today. Lots of action. And well, I can tell you, no spoilers, but if the women's race is anything to go by, this is going to be good. So we are working and waiting for the men's competition to start today. Last week on the Yebel Yace, it was the January final, and we saw some amazing competition. And let me just say, we had one of the closest team competitions in Category 6. They're going to be the first category out of the start pen today of our 6 categories. And last week, the team competition was won by BMC6 from Spinergy, and the winning time, 2.2 seconds. That's how close the Category 6 race was last week. Now, this week, the Category 6 race, 31 riders on the start sheets in Category 6. 291 men overall taking part today. We've seen a brilliant women's race, and we've seen the PB on the course beaten today. In fact, the first 2 riders today beating the course record in the women's race so far. So a fast race. Now, what are they racing for? The prize money on your screen, Category 6 prize money. So first place in the individual competition, 622 AED, through down to 10th place, 39 AED. There's also each week prize money for the segments in the race, the sprints and the climbs, 50 AED for the sprints and the segments. And then in terms of the overall sprint winner, there's also a prize. So think points for each sprint added together, sprint winner. Climb competition, points for each climb added together, climb competition. So the individual classification in category 5, 1037 AED through to 65 AED for 10th. The segments in terms of the sprints and the mountains at 75 AED per segment, 100 AED for the sprint and the overall climb competition. The team classification not in play at all until the end of the month. So riders needing 2 qualified rides to register for that monthly final and take part in the team competition. Now, as we progress through the 6 categories, the prize money increases. Category 4, 1,728 AED down to 108 AED for 10th place. 100 AED this time for each of those segments and 200 AED for the sprint and the climb competition win. Category 3 prize money, yep, we keep on rolling. So 2,880 AED for the win. Let me just give you a heads up. That equates to $784 as of Emma's exchange. Other exchange rates are available. Down to 180 AED for 10th. This time 150 AED per segment, 300 for the overall sprint and climb competitions. And up we go to category 2, 4,800 AED for the win. And that indeed is, let me give that in euros this time, 1,250 euros as of Emma's exchange, down to 300 for 10th. The sprint competition and the segments going up again. And top of the tree, category 1, 8,000 AED for the win, down to 500 for 10th, 250 per segment, and 500 for the sprint and the climbing competition. Now, 8,000 AED, 2,089 euro, 2,178 US dollars, or 1,732 pounds. That's the prize money up for stakes today. On the line, our riders are going to be racing for those top 10 positions and that prize money through the sprints and the climbing competitions. Now, category 6 will be our first race out of the pen, and we have a number of teams in the competition. So Belgium MyWhoosh e-cycling club. Wim Verbeest is the rider representing them, BMC6, who took that win in the January final, are here indeed. So Spinergy, great to see them. Frederick Schoberg representing them today. The Lost Amigos. We have indeed Lenonor, Sebza, Villarda, Nielsen and Carrillo representing the Lost Amigos, and Level Beginning represented by Marcus Brito today. So fabulous to see those riders on the start sheets, along with 31 other riders in the mix. We're in with Lenador at the moment. As the pack have rolled out of the start pen in category 6, there's a gap in the group at the moment. 1 or 2 riders just distance as they come up and over the first bridge out on course today. Now, riders moving and progressing as we saw in the women's race. So Botero and Yates. Botero took the win in category 6 last week in the monthly final. Stephen Yates took second place. Both of those riders, so Pablo Botero and Stephen Yates, progressing to category 5 today. Lenador, who we are in with at the moment, took 4th place for the Lost Amigos last week. So good to see him in the mix. Riley Millistick took 5th place. He's here on the start sheet today. He also took the sprint competition in category 6 as well last week. So absolutely brilliant to see him there today. So Llewellyn is here as well as Smith, Nielsen and Abbott. They are all rolling strongly at 2.5 kilometre marker on the right hand side of your screen. On the left hand side of your screen, we're back down in that multicoloured start pen, and we are awaiting the start of category 5 in those light blue jerseys. 55 riders on the start sheets today in category 5. A number of teams BMC 5, Dadson McMurtry Cridland representing them. Level Up, John Back is here. Level Warriors, Rodolph Bertrand is here. Rule 5, John Wakefield, Alexis Agudelo, Felipe Tortoretto, Petra Obtruba is here as well. Upcycled, Mkhitaryan, Mayard, Zanaska, and the Windschatten Ventures are also here by Hofbeck. So a wide variety of riders in those teams, or representing those teams today, along with a very large number of individual riders. Level Up are here as well with Rooney, Fiedler and Francis. But it's Christian Spiedel who is off the front of the race field, out of the start pen, with Mohamed Mukhtari riding strongly as well. Now, it was indeed Mukhtari who took the win last week here in Category 5. Tortoretto, Bertrand, Cridland and Wakefield were the top 5. In fact, Rule 5, the team, also took the team win. There was something about fives. Second, 5th and 8th place versus Upcycled, who finished in 1st, 7th and 12th. The time gap in Category 5 in that team competition was 2 minutes 20 seconds between 1st and 2nd place. Now, if you're wondering how it can be 2 minutes 20 seconds, well, the team competition in the monthly finals, 3 to 5 riders in each team. The fastest 3 riders, their times are added together, and that's what gives us the team competition. Well, you've got to be in it to win it, and you've got to be in the top 10 in the individual competition to pick up prizes, or you've got to be competing for that sprint or climb competition. 2 verified rides in the month to compete in that monthly final where that team competition comes into play. So 3 qualification races in February. So if you're watching this and thinking, oh, I really fancy taking part in that, I'd really like to get on board quick and get on board and get on the start line next week. Well, you've got the opportunity to still qualify for the final if you join us next Sunday on the 9th of February, because there's still 2 more qualification races. You need to get your entries in before Thursday morning. Early Thursday morning, if you are in the UK and Europe. The time is very clear on the entry page on the MyWhoosh website. Adriano Zanaska is down there in his pain cave. He's part and parcel of this group. He's been a long-term supporter of the Sunday Race Club, and we've seen him ride regularly. If you want to join Zanaska on the Sunday Race Club next week, head over to mywhoosh.com. Download the app if you haven't. Give it a ride. Give it a ride anyway, whether you want to join the Sunday Race Club or not. But if you do want to join the Sunday Race Club, on the mywhoosh.com website, click on the events page. If you then scroll down to the Sunday Race Club, if you click on the women's or men's entry page, if you then scroll down there, you'll see the rule set and the technical guide. Take a read of both. It gives you all the information you need to join Jonathan Cridland, who's on your screen at the moment, in his Mappe casquette. Oh, Matt's going to be missing that one. I have to say, that is a great casquette, the Mappe hat that Cridland is wearing. If you want to join Jonathan Cridland next week, that's what you need to do. Read the rule set, read the technical guide. It gives you all the information you need to work your way through verification and do all the bits and pieces, dotting the I's, crossing the T's you need to do to get on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club, and then get on the start line and come and join us. If you think, oh, I'm not strong enough to race the Sunday Race Club, there are 6 race categories, a real wide variety. If you still think, oh, I'm not strong enough, there's lots of other things out there on MyWhoosh for you, including the live coaching workouts where you can join many coaches on MyWhoosh Live to do structured training sessions with them and structured workouts. You can join other people from around the world, and you can jump on board on the mywhoosh.com events page under the live coaching session. The entire schedule for February is out there already, so you can see which coaches are training when, and you can schedule that into your plan. Well, scheduling being head of the Category 5 race back into his plan is Christian Spiedel, because he is still on the front of this group. Jacques Russenek is there. as well as Mika Mashaki. John Wakefield is there. Daniel Dotto is there. Now, Wakefield had a great race last week in that Yebel Yace. Fabulous climbing from John Wakefield, taking 5th place overall in that Category 5 race. Great to see him racing so strongly. There on the right-hand side of your screen, this is back down in the start pen because the next pack of riders we've got starting are Category 4. 57 riders on the start sheets in Category 4 today. Really good to see some great teams. BMC Racing, Robinson, Pino, Horsley are all in there. In a fight are, Krasnoskos is in there as well. Level Racing, Level Revolution, On the Rivet Racing. Well, Bulgarin, Bogrin, Iran, and Sanchez, and also Salt Factory Team UAE. That is Castro is in there, Lenador is in there, Abello is in there as well. Look at that. They've gone Category 4 out of the pen. Push, push, push. David Tompkinson is in there. Diego Molina is in there. Yeah, Groen is in there as well. Andrew Neville Ross, Boo Ammer is the rider we are in with at the moment. Riders riding really strongly Category 4, and let's just take a look at where we are at. So in Category 4 we've got a number of riders who have progressed up. Thomas Walker finished second in that January final. He's progressed to Category 3. Maciek Skierski, who took the win, has progressed to Category 3. So those two riders going up. 4th place, Matteo Pino from BMC Racing is here today. 5th place, Groen, we've already seen him. He is here as well today. Enrico Codrelli, right on the front of this pack at the moment. Strong sprinter, strong rider. Enrico, and of course his brother as well. Both Quadrellis in the mix. Always good to see. And the riders riding strongly out the start pen and really up to speed very quickly, this Category 4 pack. A few riders getting caught out. You can just see them in the distance there. They're going to need to push to get back onto the group, but the pace has come back off the group and they should indeed be able to get back on. James Robinson, Ben Kirk, Lewis Castro, all here. Karol Barczynski is here as well. Great to see Edison Gomez in the mix as well. And the riders right the way across the road, settling into the pace. And the riders who were distanced off the back of the group at the start, able to get back in. So Category 6, Category 5 and Category 4 all underway on the men's Sunday race club here. There we go, dropping in with Lenador. Mac Monroe, Lenador on your screens at the moment. We've got company in the Pain Cave. Always good to see when our riders and racers race together and ride together. Always great to see that. So Category 4 now away as well. The next race field to be underway is Category 3. We're going to 5-minute gaps between Category 6, Category 5, 5 minutes between Category 5 and Category 4, 5 minutes between Category 4 and Category 3. And then we see some bigger gaps arising because we have a 10-minute gap between Category 3 and Category 2, and then a 5-minute gap between Category 2 and Category 1. So the push coming on the front of the pack from Christoph Morgan early doors in this race today in Category 4. Look at the stretch coming into the bridge. And we're coming into that little rise, and Morgan just gone off the front to, I don't know whether to finish his warm-up and warm his legs up or just to see if anybody else wants to go early and stretch the group. Interesting tactic there. David Young we're in with at the moment, and JD Abello. But it is indeed Morgan who really has put the hammer down early on here. So 5 watts per kilo. Ben Kirk chasing from behind. Wellington pulling back in. Torsten Holt, never surprised to see Torsten Holt close a gap. Hughes Johannes in there as well. Francis Pino, Johan Stretting. These riders all coming to the fore of the group and pushing on. So the race is on in Category 4. A really big push at the moment. So we're watching Francis Pino now wanting to come over the gap and to really push on here. Really interesting to see the work being done here from Pino, because the gap really has been established. Kirk Holtz, while they are up the road, they weren't the instigators of the attack here in Category 4, but they were the first riders to push on and push over. Category 4, it's alive already. Category 3 are in the start pen, and they've not yet left. So the teams in Category 3, so the SWAT team, the Anzacs, the Otero Alliance, Level Elite, Ride Club Finland, Sandstorm, and What's Up, well, they are all down in the start pen, and they are getting ready to go. But that race field, it is huge. 68 riders. Yes, you did hear that correctly. 68 riders in the start pens in Category 3. They are a huge race field today, and they are really going to motor. Now, I say they're really going to motor. They are really going to motor, because they are that type of race field. But let's have a little check, shall we, of who is in the mix. So, Level Elite, Raw Solly, Luke Allport, Nicholas Hadland, Ride Club Finland, Tukia and Pippinen are in there. Sandstorm, Fenderich, Gates and Fell. Pierre Fell is one to watch. He races hard. Who else have we got? What's Up? Walter Clays, Ivo Sure. Sure took 5th in that final last week. The SWAT team is Caquet, the Francis Caquet, the rider there. Anzacs, Patrick Bloom. The Otero Alliance, Henry Yeast, Ryan Duma, Yakovocek. Another strong squad. And let's just not forget all those other riders and races. Now, Santiago Velez was second. He's here today. He was second last month. Nicole Kansara, great strong rider in Category 3, was 4th. He was in the mix. Thomas Walker's come up, and Maciek Skierski's come up from Category 4. Che Holweiler always rides strongly. He's here as well today. We can see him on the screen. Godzari has gone up from Category 3 to Category 2. He took the win last week in that final, also took the climbing competition. Van Urk took the sprint. And, well, let's just say that sprint competition was indeed really strong last week in Category 3. What's Up squad finishing in 1st, 6th and 11th took it from the Anzacs, who finished 2nd, 8th and 19th, and the winning margin 1 minute 24 seconds. Superb racing last week, expecting superb racing this week on the Category 3 MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. It's going to be absolutely brilliant, and well, the racing already underway, and we've got a rider on the front really pushing on here, as we see Stenman doing some chasing, Skierski doing the chasing, who's gone off on the front, doing exactly the same as we saw in Category 4, making sure there was a really fast start. And well, it is Mark Gates. Mark Gates doing the riding and doing the pushing here into the bridge here in Category 3. Kisnowski and Bloom doing the chasing with Velez and Voschek really pushing on here, but it is indeed Mark Gates wanting to do the business out of the start pen, resplendent on that Colnago in his blue jersey as he sweeps onto the bridge and onto the small rise. There he is in real life in his pain cave with his bikes on the wall, just doing the business and stretching this Category 3 group. So Gates in 1, Kisnowski, Bloom and Velez doing the chasing. Luke Allport coming up onto the front of the pack now as Gates gets up and out of the saddle in real life, up and out the saddle on his avatar over the top of the bridge. The pack are coming. It's a bit like some Jaws music. Da-da, da-da, da-da. Well, it's a fast start in Category 3. It was a fast start in Category 4. The riders are keen to get going today. Well, Category 4, 5 and 6 have all gone through the first sprint of the day. Ivo Sure Nice to see him in his pain cave again, always in the pain cave and ready to show us himself riding and racing on the avatar and in real life. Always a strong rider in category 3. Always good to see him, part and parcel of the mix. And there he is in that chasing group. Made the transition to the chase group with Bloom, Kisnowski and Velez. Rodriguez and Brooke leading the charge behind. Big race field, as we just said at the start. 68 riders on the start sheets today in category 3. Well, in category 5, we've got Christian Spiedel. He came out of the start pen fast. He put in an attack first, and he's now currently at 9.5 kilometres. He's nearly 20 seconds clear of the chase group, which you can just see that look like ants in the distance. Well, Mark Dadson, Alexander Fielder, both on the front of that chase group behind. But they are chasing this man, Christian Spielder, who has gone clear. He's round the corner. He's out of sight. Dadson, Bertrand, Yates, Wakefield, Lempinen, all chasing, but he's clear and out of sight at the moment. He's going to be a tiny blue dot in the distance. They're going to have to work really, really hard to see him because there's a lot of flags along the side of the road and it makes it very hard to spot. But he has already gone clear in less than 10 kilometres and the gap now looking at around 20 seconds. That's category 5. In category 5, through the first sprint section, the Newtown sprint, it was Diego Navarro who took the most points. He will be in the green skin suit. In category 6, they're on the right-hand side of your screen at 12.7 kilometres. It was indeed Sebza who took the sprint. He's the rider in the green skin suit. In that back, there he is. You can see him slap bang in the middle of the group. Lenador's on the front. Medeiros is there as well. Nielsen is there too. They are all moving and moving strongly as they come into that first climb segment. They've gone underneath the polka dot banner. Category 6 are in the Al-Faqir Hills section. It's 3.7 kilometres of climbing. The sawtooth profile that you can see on the top right-hand corner of your screen is stretching this category 6 packs already. Perez is there, Lenador, Dadson, Teron. I've seen Kennett. There he is, Dylan Kennett on the front. Strong rider Kennett. Lenador is there, you can see on the screen. Next to, in fact, those are the two riders. Remember when we saw the two riders next to each other, Lenador and Lenador? You can see them both riding and racing in the same room on the Sunday Race Club. So Perez in 1, Yarvanen in 2, Sebza in 3, Kennett in 4, Teron is there as well. Those are the riders at the front as they go up and over the first part of this sawtooth profile climb that is the Al-Faqir Hills. Category 6, they were the first racers out of the start pen 22 minutes ago. They're at 13.4 kilometres, 13.5 kilometres into this 47.8 kilometre race. Now on our first climbing segment of the day. So category 6, one big pack all together, starting to drop riders off the back as they go into the climb segment. Christian Spiedel is leading the category 5 race by some distance now. 21 seconds his lead at the 11.4 kilometre mark. Category 4 on the top right-hand corner of your screen, well, they are all rolling together at 8.5 kilometres. And category 3, well, they're coming into the first sprint of the day, the Newtown sprint at 5.3 kilometres. Let's take a look at the pack. The fastest sprint should come from the back of the pack to the front. Patrick Bloom putting in a storming sprint at the moment. Bloom and Van Erck neck and neck. Rick Van Erck goes through and over the top. Who's going to take that? That's going to be a good question. And is it going to be the fastest time overall or just the fastest time in category 3? Well, Rick Van Erck puts on the green skin suit, resplendent in green. He's changed from blue to green. The leader in the category 3 sprint. So Rick Van Erck taking the sprint from Patrick Bloom at 1,140 watts average from Rick Van Erck to win that sprint. Phenomenal effort, really, really strong. Patrick Bloom, 1,162 watts. What amazing sprinting from those two riders in category 3. Really strong, really fast, and really bringing it all into the business. So Henry Yeese going up here against Duca. The pace is still on here in this Category 3 race. They've gone through the sprint segment and the pace is still flying because Henry Yeese is absolutely dialing it on the front. I love it when they go through a sprint and then they go, let's keep going. And Henry Yeese is leading the charge in Category 3 as we drop into Category 1 and Category 2. Those are the two races left in the start pen. Category 2 are up first. The Abu Dhabi team, the BL13 Watt Bombs, the Fast Guys, the Smarties, the Hitmen, the UAE Falcons, and the UAE Clan team are the teams in place. It's going to be really interesting, Category 2. We've got 53 riders on the start sheets in Category 2. And it is, well, we'll get into who is on those start sheets in a minute. Let's take a look at the start of the race. So Category 2 are up and away, and the pace is fast on the front. Ika Morel is up there. Hassan Sultan is in the mix. Ruben Dont has come back down from Category 1, so we've seen movement both ways. We did see, and we have seen Paul Skirski's gone up, Zach Nair's gone up, Stuart Miller's gone up from Category 2 to Category 1 for February, but it's Marcin Trojanowski who's on the front with Carlos Ospina leading the charge behind, but it's a 2-second gap at the moment, and Trojanowski just wanting the pace to be high out of the start pen as dropping riders off the back of the group. Hassan Sultan leading the charge, really pushing on at the moment. Machado there, Quintero, Havo, Darm, Bjorklund, Nitko, Gledes is in the mix as well as Stask. So all pushing on and wanting to be part and parcel of the front of this Category 2 group. They don't want to be near the back. They don't want to get dropped. They want to go with the charge. A warm-up, a good warm-up is absolutely key today if you want to leave the Sunday Race Club start pen, because riders like Marsan here absolutely dialing it out of the pen. Philip Graves now leading the charge behind, wanting to close the gap down. Hassan Sultan, that's a sprint. 10 watts per kilo from Sultan trying to close the gap down with Graves. They want part of the action. Peter Milostic is there, so is James Krasnich. Harvard Glesnes is there too, as Sebastian Havo. These riders all wanting to bring this group back together and not let anybody go out early in Category 2. So Arvin Godarzi has come up from Category 3 this month. David Nitko took 5th place here last week. Ruben Dont's come down. It is a real mixed bag of riders here, and it is really good to see them motoring and coming out of that start pen. Now, Maz Buster is here, Anders Bengston is here, Jonas Bjarhead, Phil Graves, Matthias Van He, Ricardo Betty, Sebastian Havo, we've seen Frederick Gombert, Andrew Downey is in the mix, David Darn. All of these riders really good. And I'll tell you something, no, you haven't let off the pace here. Joel Lewis is still dialing it. They absolutely want this. And what's really interesting is we drop in with Havo there, a French rider, is they're obviously seeing the danger here and they do not want to just reel Marcin Shoshanowski back in. They want to close the gap and they want to bridge the gap and go across to form a group. Now, is this an early move and a decided early move to get a significant size group at the front and to pull away? Or is this just about we really don't want to get caught out here and we're happy to put the effort in early to close this down? Let's take a look and see what happens. Phil Graves comes up onto the wheel, and I'll tell you what, he doesn't drop the pace. He's still at 8 watts per kilo. So Phil Graves goes over the top of Trojanowski, the rider who pushed on up front, goes up and over the top and continues the pace and says, come on, let's keep this going. Joel Lewis is there as well, but I'm looking to see who's sitting up and who's keeping going. And the stretch is on. Look at the stretch on the Category 2 race field already. Christoph Thiem is there. Matthias Vanni, Hoffman, Downey, Ospina, Alajon, Kliplinski, all wanting part and parcel of the mix here. And the danger now is at the back of this pack. And the danger is that the splits start to form. And they're only 2.5 kilometres into the 47.8 kilometre race here. And they're in danger of missing out already. Well, the riders in category 2 strung out like spaghetti. They are indeed. An X100 comes onto the leading group, and the leading group now at the moment, well, he's just the transition rider pulling the rest of the group back. We've got one rider distance. I'm surprised. I'm going to say that again. I'm surprised it's only one rider distance, because that has been manic. What an opening 3 kilometres in the category 2 race. Now, category 1 down in the start pen, 27 riders on the start sheets today. The teams are here. A-Bus Esports, Jasper Paradians is here for them. Al-Faqir, we've got Ollie Jones, Lionel Vujasin, Mikhail Kaminsky and Dan Turek. Boss Moves Only, Jason Osborne, Michael Knudsen, Said Safra Zaidi. The Farm Watt squad today, Johan Noren and Bjorn Andreasen. Hayden Pucker, well, he'll be saving his legs for that cycling esports national USA championships later today. But here today, this is the Sunday Race Club. We are green. The category 1 riders are out of the start pen. Wright, Panizza, Jones, Andreasen, Power, Kell, Kroll, Kaminsky, Nair, Jones, Millerstick are all in the mix. Paradians is here as well. And up they go and out of the pen. 27 riders today. Clear of that start pen now and out onto the course. So last week in that Yebble Yace finale for January, it was Michael Osborne. Rewind. It was Jason Osborne from Michael Vink. I'm not going to rename them Michael Osborne and Jason Vink. That would be quite strange. So Jason Osborne from Michael Vink, from Ollie Jones, Stefan van Elst in 4th, Lionel Vujasin in 5th. Now, Osborne also took the climbing competition that day, and Vujasin took the sprint competition. In terms of the team competition, Boss Moves Only took 1st, 2nd, and 6th overall, versus the 3rd, 5th, and 9th places that the Al-Faqir top 3 took, and that gave Boss Moves Only a winning time of a winning gap of 2 minutes 34 seconds. So resplendent in those yellow jerseys. The rainbow stripes are indeed in there, because Jason Osborne is sat 2nd row in that pack, in that different jersey, the world champion, ladies and gentlemen. Great to see both of our world champions taking place in the Sunday Race Club today. Here on the first qualifier in February, we're out in Aluna. Lionel Vujasin, part and parcel of that Al-Faqir squad. Great kit. The Al-Faqir kit, absolutely fabulous. And Vujasin, a phenomenal rider, and taking those sprint competitions recently as well. And seen a bit of a competition between him and Jasper Paradians for that sprint competition. It's going to be interesting to see whether Vujasin targets that today as well, or whether he's got his mind on the overall today on the Alula course. Last time we were here in qualifier 3 in January, Jason Osborne took the win in 65 minutes 49 seconds. Now we saw PBs, course PBs, for the first 2 riders today in the women's category 1 race. Will we see a fast time today in the men's race? Well, it's fast in category 2, and it has been like that since they left the start pen. But Carlos Ospina, he is nailing it and dialing it in for that sprint. But has he set the fastest time? I don't think so, because Olivier Simmons, Ollie Simmons doing the business, getting that green skin suit on. Bigley Simmons, as my co-host Matt Payne likes to call him, after I mistakenly called him Bigley Simmons for some reason. There he is, Ollie Simmons. Great to see him on his bike in his pain cave, taking that sprint. Great time, 984 watts average for that sprint, 13.9 watts per kilo, doing the business from David Nitko, Carlos Ospina and Jakob Bjorklund. They lined up behind him, and I tell you something, the watts per kilo average from Bjorklund, 15.8. Simmons got his positioning in the group right, because his average watts per kilo 13.9. You don't have to have the highest power to win the sprint. Positioning is key, and Simmons is a master of positioning when it comes to sprinting. Well, category 2 continue the charge on the Sunday Race Club. Machado is the rider here, pushing on here. Van He now closing the gap down to the 3 riders at the front of the race. Phil Graves got himself tucked in nicely to the lead group. Never a surprise to see Phil Graves tucked into the lead group. Always a rider wanting to be part and parcel of the action. SS now doing the business and coming across. Bjarhead on the front of the pack behind with X100 and Tord Allenshung. But it is indeed Van He, Trojanowski, Graves. They are the riders towards the front of the group. And we're still seeing a large Category 2 pack, but there's a continual fight at the front to stretch this race and to change this. They really do not want this Category 2 pack to stay together for long. So through the new town sprint go our race fields. We've had everybody other than our Category 1 race field through. Category 2, Matthias Van He on the screen, up and out of the saddle. It's been a fast race for Category 2 so far, with the action off the front of the pack. Machado, Graves, Van He trying to close the gap down to those two who are just trying to ride away from the rest of the pack, and the danger is now starting to be done, and Van He and Trojanowski can see that X100 SS are at the front of the pack behind. They're continuing to push, but the pace has been so strong for the last 7 kilometers in Category 2. Who knows how anybody in that group are feeling, because there are riders in there trying to keep their powder dry. They're trying to stay and conserve as much energy as possible in the pack and let others respond to the race moves. They're trying to deliberately let the others respond. They're staying in the pack and they are relying on the fact that somebody else is going to try and close the gap down and that they are going to take the tow and they can save their energy for later. But Van He, SS, X100, Havo, they're doing the work on the front here. Walter is there as well, but SS and X100 are really doing the work here. And do you know what? They've pulled the gap back, because other than the 2 riders clear, Machado and Graves, here they are. Everybody else is now back in the pack behind. So there's no mid group. There's no chase group. It is just one big pack now chasing down the 2 riders clear at the front. And Phil Graves, well, he is just sat in that draft. Look at his numbers, 399. What's in the green? He's in the draft. Well, never to be undone, never to be out sprinted. Here is indeed Category 1, and they're at the 4.7 kilometre marker. They're not at the sprint section yet, because that doesn't come till the 5.3 kilometre marker. And, well, Bjorn Andreasen has been leading the charge. Jason Osborne's been closing the gap. And Andreasen is a really aggressive rider. Always really good to see him try and be instrumental in sorting the action, part and parcel of that Farm Watts squad. Andreasen from Denmark really doing the business. Bruce Bird, also another very active instrumental racer in the race fields. Always wanted to see the action. If it ever really has a lull in proceedings, you can guarantee Bruce Bird will be there or thereabouts pushing it on. Now we come into the first sprint of the day, the first segment of the day for the Category 1 race. As they come into the sprint, we drop in with Ollie Jones. He's part and parcel of the pack, lifting the pace slightly, just wanting to make sure you stay with the group. You need to cover the pack, not sprinting. Now, Panizza put in a big push from behind. That was a really interesting move. Saw big numbers from Ricardo Panizza working his way through the pack. The question is, who takes the sprint in Category 1? And, well, Jasper Paradians is the rider who turns up in the green skin suit. We did say he's taken the sprint competition before and would likely be targeting it. And there you go. There's the evidence that he is. So Jasper Paradians takes the sprint in Category 1. Doesn't set the fastest time overall. There you go. So here we have the top 10. Rick Van Erck from Category 3 sets the fastest time in that first sprint overall at 12.362 seconds. Let's just remember, Category 3, 68 riders. It was a big pack to sprint through. Olivier Simmons in Category 2, the second fastest time. Then Nitko, Ospina, Bjorklund and Hoffman, all from Category 2. Hughes Yonis from Category 4 slots into 7th. Jasper Paradian slots into 8th. Joachim Schretting from Category 4 slots into 9th. And Patrick Bloom from Category 3 rounds out the top 10. Good sprinting. First section, done for everybody. So Category 1 continue to move. Category 2, well, they continue to charge. It looks to me like Phil Graves and Mikel Machado are still out front. Yep, they are. Those are the two riders out front. We're in with SS. He's chasing. He's bringing the group back. X100 and SS from the UAE clan team, not wanting the two riders, Graves and Machado, to stay out front long. So they are trying to bring it back. But the pack really are not responding behind. Ruben Dont onto the front, puts on the brakes. Just literally, it's classic road racing tactics. They're not interested in chasing. So SS now in no man's land between the large pack of riders here in Category 2 and the two leaders on the road, the escapees. Well, two escapees down the road in Category 2 as Glednez comes to the fore. Strong rider having taken top spot in Category 2 once last month. He rides really well and really strongly. In fact, if I am not mistaken, he took the win in Category 2 on this course. Now, he did indeed, but let me just tell you, in Category 2 on this course in Qualifier 3 in January, it was so close. 4 seconds separated the top 12 riders in Category 2. Last time out on the course, Gladness took the win in the winning time of 69.48. Well, 69 minutes, 48 seconds. Toward Alan Zhong, always strong as well. And you can see him there. And the work and the effort early in this race in Category 2, well, it's really got to take its toll when we get to the latter stages of the race. But I think the rider's really keen not to take such a big group into the final stages again, because, such a short gap. 4 seconds, top 12. 10 prize money places at stake today. Two of those riders in that leading pack missed out that day. They're not going to want to miss out today. And Phil Graves and Mikel Machado are the two riders who have gone clear. And now they are extending their gap. So the pace has come off, the chase has come off the group behind, and the gap now at 13 seconds to the two leading riders in Category 2. So attack after attack after attack in Category 2 have now paid off for Graves and Machado. The two riders having gone clear of the chase group, now at 15 seconds. No one's been able to bridge the gap. No one's been able to bring it back. And the action is all go in Category 1 as well. Look at the stretch on that group. So Mikhail Kaminsky, part and parcel of this chasing group of riders, because they are chasing. Two riders clear. Osborne and Panizza, Ricardo Panizza, always strong, always active in the peloton. So Panizza and Osborne, the two riders clear, but it's Andreasen and Kaminsky who are chasing them down. They're chasing them down. They're bringing the rest of the group with them as well, because Van Elst, Knudsen, and look at that. Look at the stretch on that Category 1 pack at 9.1 kilometres. We're going to see riders distance off the back of the group, and they're not going to get back on. This is for survival here. You've got to be in the group. You've got to stay in the pack, or the race is over, and the race will be over within the first 10 kilometres today. So Van Elst now coming to the fore. Kaminsky, Andreasen, Jones, Osborne, Panizza, they are back in the mix. Pedersen is there as well. Asvu, Yassin and Wright. Ollie Jones comes up to the front and kicks on the climb. So Ollie Jones kicks on the climb, and he continues to kick up and over the top. This is not a case of let's catch the group and sit back. This is a case of let's catch the group and launch another attack. So Ollie Jones for the Alpha Jaw squad continues to kick. Jason Osborne responds. Bjorn Andreasen is there as well. They're trying to bring the group back. Can the entire group come back together? I'm not sure they can. I think this is doing a lot of damage to this Category 1 pack early. We've already seen one rider dropped off, and I think we're about to see a split in the group. Yep, there's a split in that leading group now as the attack continues on the front. Safra Zaidi, Wright, Vu, Yassin, Pedersen, Panizza are all on the strong, or should I say good side of the break. Who's on the wrong side of the break? Well, only time will tell. Back into the Category 2 race. They're on the Al-Faqir Hills. The first hill section of the day, the sawtooth profile you can see on the top right-hand corner of your screen. Joel Lewis, Phil Graves, Graves and Mashando came into this section in the front. 13 seconds clear they are at the moment. Walter Hoffman, Bjarhead, X100, Quinston and Alan Jung are at the front of the group, but the damage is also being done to the Category 2 pack. Take a look on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. We've got riders distanced from the main group as we drop in with Simon Walter, who's right at the front of the pack, up and out of the saddle, pushing on in the pain cave at the 14-kilometre mark. They're chasing two riders who are still down the road. So Simon Walter at the front of the pack. Gombe is there as well as Bjarhead and Havo. X100, Quintero. The two riders down the road, Graves, Machado, at 10 seconds. They are still holding the gap. The gap is closing slightly as the group charge from behind. The momentum from the pack on the downhill sections will drive the pace. Probably a little bit stronger than the two riders off the front, but they are taking it in turns. And Mikel Machado comes over the top of Phil Graves onto the bridge. The drive is coming again up onto the climb. The pack behind, you can't see them at the moment. They are there, but they are 15 seconds back. It's a long gap. You know, there they are. You can just see that splodge of green behind. The gap back, the profile back on that top right-hand corner of your screen at 15 kilometres. Category 2 has been alight since the gun. Category 1, well, look at the stretch on that group and the damage that's been done to the Category 1 race field. It is just... Category 1 and Category 2, I'm not sure what's gone on today, but they definitely had their Weetabix, their Ready Brek, whatever breakfast cereal of choice. It's warmed up their innards and it has led them to drive forward. Category 1, Osborne, Vink, Safra Zaidi, 5 riders in the leading group now. Vuyasin is there as well as Jones. That's a class-leading group, but they need to stay clear of the chase group behind. And it's not a big gap at the moment in Category 1, but it's not a big chase group either, because the rest of the riders are scattered like skittles down the road. Category 1's been electric, Category 2's been fast and furious, and we are only into the early stages of this race. Category 1 at 12.6 kilometres. They've been racing for 17 minutes now as they come towards the polka dot banner, signifying the start of the Al-Faqir Hills climbing segment. Andreasen, Van Elst, they go underneath the banner towards the end of the Al-Faqir Hills section. They're going to see the banner, but it's the end, the final polka dot banner in this Category 2 pack. Well, is this pack going to come back to the leading group? I think it is. So Graves and Machado had 15 seconds at one point. It's down to 6. Betty, SS, Downey, Bjarhead, Nitko are all driving this group. You can see Ricardo Betty in the pain cave, the concentration and the work being done from Betty at the moment, and he's leading the charge. He's pushing. He wants the fastest time through the segment. That's what he's going for, and he's driving towards the leading two on the road. The gap is down to 4 seconds. He's going to bring this back. Is he going to be rewarded by the polka dot skin suit as well? Only time will tell. Ruben Dont comes through as well. He obviously wants to compete against Betty for it. Which one of them is going to take the segment? Ruben Dont takes the segment from Betty, shall we say. But Ruben Dont, a real drive there to the line, replicating what Betty was doing, but just coming over the top and pipping Betty at the post. Martin Trojanowski comes through in third, David Nitko in fourth, and the pack come rolling through. And I can now confirm 29 riders in that leading group in Category 2 as they come underneath that banner. Ruben Dont, look at the effort. The effort on Ruben Dont's face to have taken that polka dot skin suit after that fast and furious start in the Category 2 race. Are they going to settle down? That's the question. I think the answer at the moment is no. 29 riders in the leading group in Category 2 continue the charge here on the course. And the charge, well, Simon Walter is desperately trying to bring back these two riders, Mishando and Graves. They had nearly 20 seconds as they went in to the Al-Faqir Hills. They are coming out with 1 second left. But Simon Walter, actually is transitioning over to them. The gap behind Walter is at around 4 seconds. So we're going to see 3 riders now clear. Joel Lewis on the group behind, now picking up the pace and wanting to really close the gap down as well. There's a lot of tired legs in that group who are going to be wanting to take a rest. This is a 7.8 transition section on this course in Alula between the Al-Faqir Hills and the Vessel Rock Climb. It's an opportunity to take some rest, but at the moment in this Category 2 race, not a lot of rest for anybody. No rest and respite. It's race, race, race. While on the right-hand side of your screen, Dylan Kennett is doing a sterling job in that polka dot skin suit as well. At 29.6 kilometres, he's up and through the Vessel Rock Climb in Category 6, setting the fastest time up the climb. Jerome Smith, Teron de Manuan, are all up as well. In fact, 14 riders in Category 6 are already up and over and through that segment. But Kennett is leading the chaser behind around 47 seconds back, and it does look like it's one strong group across the road. Chasing behind, being led by Abbott and Teron. Smith, Jokobonus, Dadson in there as well. But Dylan Kennett doing a great job on the course at the moment. Now, Kennett was really strong on this course last time out. In fact, he took the win in Category 6 from Yates, Botero, Abbott and Millerstick. So Dylan Kennett doing the business again, obviously liking this course in Alula. So you can see Kennett on the right-hand side of your screen. The chase behind on the left, Drew Abbott and Jerome Smith leading the charge there, but Kennett clearly clear there with a good gap of around 45 seconds. Now back in with Category 1, and this group have reformed. So the leading group in Category 1 reformed, but they are not as big as they were before. They're coming to the polka dot banner, signifying the end of the Al-Faqir Hills. Ruben Dont has the fastest time through this section at the moment as we go in with the Al-Faqir squad. Jones, Vuyasin and Kaminsky, they're all part and parcel of the group, pushing towards the polka dot banner, signifying the end of the climbing segment. Who's going to be rewarded with the polka dot skin suit is a good question. I think it's going to be Bjorn Andreasen. But time will tell as the computers catch up. Now, Bjorn Andreasen, I think, sets the fastest time through that segment. And Mikko Kaminsky in 2. There you go. It does indeed. So Andreasen in 1, 4 minutes, 56 seconds. Kaminsky in 2, less than half a second back. Knudsen, Van Elst, Vuyasin, Jones, Osborne and Vink. So 8 riders in that leading group in Category 1. Well, actually 9, because Safra Zaidi is there as well. He's in the 10th. Ruben Dont just splitting the times of those top 9 riders in Category 1 with the fastest time in Category 2 up the climb. So 9 riders in the leading group now in Category 1 as they push on. Andreasen, Kaminsky, Knudsen, Van Elst, Yasin, Jones, Osborne, Vink and Safra Zaidi are the riders in the leading group as Michael Vink picks up the charge and pushes on here on the flatlands. So they've come through the climb section. They're now on a 7.8 kilometre run to the Vessel Rock Climb. And Vink decides it's time to go. Jason Osborne leads the charge behind Bjorn Andreasen. Really kicks and kicks deep too. There he is in the blue bandana on the wheel of Osborne, Vuyasin, Jones, Knudsen and Van Elst. Well, they are working hard behind as well. The stretch is on the group at the moment, and they really are having to close the gap down because of what Vink is doing on the front here. Saeed Safrazadi is 2 seconds back. He's going to have to watch his wheels if he wants to close the gap and stay part and parcel of this race today. Lyndon Millerstick, well, he is now gone. So's Mikhail Kaminsky. Those two riders are now at 8 seconds and more. They are well and truly out of this now. Mikhail Kaminsky, he is in trouble. Take a look at that. He's gone. That's it. Race over there for Kaminsky unless he does the business later on. But the leading group have gone. They are 12 seconds up the road, and the chase is on because of what Michael Vink is doing on the front of that group. Well, the Vinkinator is back, and he is absolutely dialing it today and pushing on those pedals and giving everybody all sorts of trouble. Jason Osborne, Michael Knudsen, Bjorn Andreasen, Lionel Vuyasin are there, but the rest of this pack are struggling. We're looking to see who's in the mix and who isn't, but at the moment, Safrazadi's there. Jones, Van Elst, Kaminsky are in trouble. Kaminsky's already gone, but Jones, he's got to push. He's got to close the gap down, but the pace is so high and so hard on the front at the moment. Van Elst is with Ollie Jones at the moment. These two riders need to transition across to the group or else they are out as well. And what was 9, that became 8, will become 6 unless Jones and Van Elst can get back in. The question for me is, how long can Michael Vink hold this pace on the front? How long can Michael Vink do this and to break the group? And what an effort. Credit to everybody else in Category 1, because what a move, what a push by Michael Vink, and they are all responding. How hard is that man having to work to break this Category 1 pack? Safrazadi's got 3 seconds until he gets onto the back wheel of Jason Osborne and Michael Vink. Osborne, the only rider able to go with the Vinkinator, able to go with the power and pace of Michael Vink today. Andreas and Vuyasin and Knudsen come back onto Safrazadi's wheels. The 4 riders are going to start working together and close that gap down. Vuyasin, Andreas and Knudsen and Safrazadi, the chasing group of 4. They are chasing Vink and Osborne. Look at that side, Safrazadi. You can see the pain cave, you can see the medals and the trophies. He is no slouch at all, is Syed Safrazadi. He is a world-class rider, and he is having to chase world-class leaders because Vink and Osborne are down the road at the moment at 5 seconds. The 3 riders with him need to help. They have to work together if they want to bring this 2 group back, because these are world-class riders riding away from a world-class field. Category 1 is a light. So is Category 2. So last time we were in with Category 2, we had 2 riders clear and the rest of the field. We then started to see riders go across the gap. And now it looks like we've got a leading group of 5 riders maybe, with a gap of 3 seconds back to X100, who's leading the charge yet again. And you can see here now on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, the main group looks broken into 2 groups. So it looks like we've got a smaller lead group and then the main group broken into 2. So let's just take a look and see. Mendakowicz, Bjarhead, X100, Ospina, Troshanowski, Lewis are in this group here, which is the chase group, I think. Further up the road is the leading group who have just gone round the corner. Yeah, so Simon Walter, Harvard Glednes, Phil Graves are part and parcel of that leading group. They're 3 seconds up the road from the group we are in with. This group is trying desperately to form one group on the front and a chase group on the back. Maciej Mendakowicz is the rider closing the gap down, and he's going to bring the chase group over. He's going to bring X100, he's going to bring Betty, he's going to bring Bjarhead. Then there's Ospina and Troshanowski. The pace has been so strong in Category 2 from the go. I'm surprised anybody is going to be able to make the last 20 kilometres of this race, because it has been attrition. They have attacked. I don't know what else anybody can do to try and break this Category 2 race field with 53 riders in the Category 2 race field. The quality and the matching of abilities is just leading to, well, explosive racing, because Mendakowicz now goes to the front of the group and pushes. X100 comes to the front. We don't just catch a group, we go past the group. We go past the group and we attack. We're now at 24.5 kilometres. You know, they've attacked and chased coming into the Vessel Rock climb, and that's where they are now. So after that frantic effort, they've now got to do the climb. The climb that Jeff Rooney is now getting to the top of. So Jeff Rooney, part and parcel of this Category 5 race. You can see him there in the studio working strongly on the bike. Great cadence from Jeff Rooney as he continues on the climb towards the top here. So Rooney, McMurtry, Cridland, Lampinen, Wakefield, Warren, Smithson, Dadson are all part and parcel of this leading group. Christian Spiedel still down the road. Such a strong ride from Christian. Spiedel, he's gone early in this race. And, well, congratulations, because he is still clear of this Category 5 race field. We're in with Ola Warren at the moment. He's part and parcel of this chase group as they come towards the top of the climb here. Really great racing in Category 5. And, well, it's Agadello, I think, who has got the... Oh, no, it's Jonathan Cridland, actually, who's got the polka dot skin suit in that category. He's pushing on as part and parcel of this group. But the rider they are all chasing is Christian Spiedel. So Spiedel heads the Category 5 race. You can just see him actually on the bottom left-hand corner. There's one Category 6 rider between them, while Osborne and Vink now are on a charge in Category 1. They're just 4 seconds, that's all, clear of the chase group behind. In fact, Ivan Nuki from Category 2. He is the rider who has just jumped on to Vink and Osborne. He's going to try and stay with them and get a tow up to the riders in the Category 2 race field, having a, well, a steadier start today in the Category 2 pack. I'm not surprised. It was frantic, the start in that Category 2 race field. And Ivan Nuki in the picture. There he is on the shot. Great to see Mr. Nuki there. Just taking the tow from Vink. Well, if you're going to sit behind anybody, sit behind the world champion. What a job Nuki is doing there, and joins the Category 2 rider that they just go past. But can Ken stay with him? He's picked up the pace to try and jump on the back. He's going to try and join Nuki in that charge behind Vink and Osborne. Behind a little bit further, it's Vuyasin, Safrazadi, Andreasen and Jones. They are leading the charge in terms of Category 1. They're at 24 kilometres. The leading the charge in Category 2 is on the right-hand side of your screen. They are 2.2 kilometres up the road. Category 2 are indeed on that Vessel Rock climb. The work being done, really strong. They've come back, they've brought Graves back, they've brought his compatriots in that leading charge. Machedo, one of them, back into the fold. X100, Graves, Mendakowicz, Hoffman are in this mix. Simon Walter is there, Biarhead. They have all come across. Now the lead group has formed in the race. You can actually see on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen the Category 2 race. So this is a leading group. Then there's one rider in the mix in between, and then there's a chase group behind. But Dont is here. Mendakowicz, Trojanowski, Havo have all made the cut into the leading group. They're at 26.8 kilometres. They are on this Vessel Rock climb, and you can see they're coming to a flatter section and a small dip before they hit the final climb here. We're watching the Category 2 race field climb the Vessel Rock mountain. They are continuing to push. They're at the 27.2 kilometre marker. At the 32.5 kilometre marker, well, we are moving up the race field. And you can see David Goodall doing the business here in just this climb. I'm just trying to take a look at the rider behind him. So Patrick Bloom is the rider behind him, and then Santiago Velez. They are the riders pushing on here. This is the Category 3 race. Now, the Category 3 race started 10 minutes before the Category 2 race. So you can see the 10-minute differential in the time. 39 minutes Category 2 on the left, 49 minutes Category 3 on the right. But in that 49 minutes, 32.8 kilometres of racing done for Category 3. And Goodall pushing on Bloom there. The pack now all coming together here at the 32.9 kilometre marker. They've gone through the face rock sprint. This is the climbing section after that. They've got to climb up, drop down, climb up before they have the main drop and descent into the run in towards the final climb today. But the Category 3 pack really strong at the moment. Patrick Bloom took indeed the face rock sprint in Category 3. He's in that green skin suit. There he is, right on the front row of this pack. Holweiler is there, Corrales, Van Vellegem, Ridley, Brook, Cowman. There is Pierre Fell. He's in the mix as well. Headphones on, music pumping, I hope. Velez and Fenderich are there as well. So is Ivo Sur. We were in with Ivo Sur earlier on today. And you can see the pack really wide across the road, well matched as they come towards the peak of this climb, and then going to drop and descend slightly before the final kicker out of this climbing segment. Then there's a long descent before the flat run, the 3 rollers, and then that final climb of the day. Category 3 leading group climbing strongly. The race is further ahead of them. Well, they are continuing to work behind them. Category 2, well, it is just a light today in Category 2. Ruben Dont, James Krasnich, Joel Lewis, Maciej Mendakowicz, Bjarhed, Walter Ospina, SS, they are all motoring at 28.6 kilometres. They are coming to the top of the Vessel Rock climb. Dont's going to want to keep that polka dot skin seat. There he goes. Can you see the push now? Look at the lift of pace of Ruben Dont, because that's what he wants. But is he going to get it? That is the question. The Vessel Rock climb. Who's going to be the quickest in Category 2? X100 goes under. But Ruben Dont has done enough work. He sets the fastest time up the climb from Krasnich, Nitko, SS, Gledness, X100, Macedo, Ospina, Graves, Lewis, Walter Trojanowski, Bjarhed and Mendakowicz. 14 riders in the leading group in Category 2. Well, they've whittled it down from 53, and it's been hard work the whole way. You've got the riders on your screen. Take a look at Dont's pain face. That is one massive effort from Ruben Dont. The workload is so hard. The riders in Category 2 are not getting an easy ride today. You know, regardless of whatever category our riders are in, the racing is hard. The effort is hard. Phil Graves, X100, come back onto the front. It does not get any easier as you progress through the categories. The racing just gets faster. X100, Graves, Ospina, Machado, SS, Walter, all driving the pace here on the descent. X100 is a master of descending, actually, on MyWhoosh. He really does understand momentum and the fact that if you kick hard over the climb and you pick up the pace, you can then take a huge recovery, which is what he's doing. And then he goes again. Graves, Machado, all in the mix here. Ospina, they are motoring on the descent. 52 kilometres an hour is where they're at. The call comes from Phil Graves. Come on, work with me. Let's keep this pace high. X100 responds, but the rest of the pack are coming. They're going to hit the flatlands now, and it's a transition section. There are 3 rollers along the way. It may split the group a little bit more, but they've got to have the legs for the final climb. The final climb, 2.7 kilometres with an average gradient of 5%. They have got to have the legs. You can blow on that final climb, and I would not be surprised if some of the riders in that 14 up leading group in category 2. I would not be surprised if their legs are shot by the time they get to that final climb. Well, a little bit further behind them, but only 1.5 kilometers or so, is indeed the leading group in category 1. Osborne and Vink, the dynamic duo in category 1. That is Jason Osborne, the world champion, and Michael Vink there, really motoring and pushing on. The chase group, last time we saw them, there was a 4-man chase group in category 1. They are not to be seen at the moment as those riders, well, there they are, 14 seconds back. And there's these two riders come to the top of the Vessel Rock climb. They're going to be the first two riders over from category 1. It's going to be interesting to see if they set the fastest time and what the gap is back to the chase group. Now, the chase group, Andreasen and Vujasin are pushing on already. Look at the pace coming there. They want the polka dot skin suit. They want to close the gap, and they are motoring at the moment. So Osborne currently has the fastest time, followed by Michael Vink up the top of the climb. Where does this group sit? Oh, interesting. Lionel Vujasin moves into second place behind Jason Osborne. Knudsen, Safrazadi and Andreasen slot into 4th, 5th and 6th. When the times come up on the screen in a bit, it's going to be really interesting. I think they pretty much, all 6 of those riders, climbed that climb at a similar pace. There you go. So Jason Osborne sets the fastest time, 7 minutes, 17 seconds. 0.7 of a second slower, Lionel Vujasin. Vink, 0.8 of a second. 1 second back, Knudsen, Safrazadi and Andreasen. So it is so close. And Osborne and Vink not really extending their gap at all on that climb. Daunting category 2 at the moment. Let's not forget the rest of the category 1 race field are not through. But Kayan, James Krasnich, David Nitko round out the top 10 at the moment. The results are live at the moment, and there are more riders and racers out on that course ready to finish that climb. So Vink and Osborne continue the charge in category 1, but it's only about 10 seconds back to the chase group at the moment, and they are up and over the first section of the Vessel Rock climb. They drop down the other side, they go through the Face Rock Sprint, and then they climb up and out of the canyon area. Category 2 on the left-hand side of your screen. So X100 and Phil Graves have indeed worked together. The call that Graves put out to X100 has worked. They are now 6 seconds clear of the chase group behind. That category 2 leading, I don't know what these riders had for breakfast in category 2, but it has been one attack after another attack after another attack for 32 kilometers at the moment. And Phil Graves has pretty much been in all of them. So Graves doing the business in category 2. We know he's a strong rider. On the right-hand side of your screen, the rider at the head of the race at 42.7 kilometres, coming up for 5k to go, is Dylan Kennett, the rider in the polka dot skin suit and the blue cap. He's leading the category 6 race. He's got around 25 seconds at the moment. The gap's not as big as it was. So Dylan Kennett, the gap is coming down in category 6, but he is still at the head of the race. So Mendakowicz is the rider now trying to come across to Phil Graves here on this final climbing section. They are climbing up and out from the Vessel Rock climb. They've got this climb, they drop down, then they've got one more kicker before they do the main descent. And this group do not want to let anybody go. They are all coming back. A steadier pace has worked well for them, and they are bringing it back together. So category 2 continue to roll. Phil Graves X100 just strung out on front of the pack. What can you do when you've got 2 riders out on the front? You just leave them there to worry about the chase behind. Deliberately do it. SS or Spina, they've come back off the pace. Let's just hang them out to dry and leave them out there. We're not bothered. We've got to climb at the end. We'll reel them in then. That's what they're thinking. We're going to be smart. We're going to save some energy. We are going to let them go out. We're going to let them bury themselves, and then we'll reel them in at the end. Well, that's what's going on in Category 2. In Category 1, Vu, Yasin, Knudsen, Andreasen, and Safrazadi, the chasing group of 4. They are chasing Osborne and Vink, but they are not that far behind, you know. Osborne and Vink have just gone round the right-hand corner. That is, you can see on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, they're hidden amongst Category 2 riders that they are catching. And this group now about to go around the same corner at the 32-kilometre marker. So the Category 1 race there, they go round the corner. They're going to see a group of riders ahead of them. And somewhere buried in that group of riders are Osborne and Vink, the 2 riders that are down the road. They've gone through the Face Rock Sprint. They are now about to come out the other side and head towards the exit to the climbing section. They've got 2 short climbs ahead of them. The question is, how far ahead are Osborne and Vink? It's looking like to me it's got to be more than 20 seconds. Yep, 24 seconds at the moment. So Osborne and Vink, 24 seconds on the chase group of 4 behind. Phil Graves continues to push at the moment, and we're seeing him work strongly as he continues to ride with X100, taking every opportunity to get that momentum going on those downhill sections and take the kick into the climb. This is the final climb at 35 kilometres. It's the exit to the Vessel Rock. They come up to the top here. There's then the plateau, and then they start the main descent of the course into the run-in towards the finish and the final climb of the day. Phil Graves comes up onto X100's shoulder. It too is a 24-second gap back to the chase group. James Krasnich, Simon Walter, Carlos Ospina. They've taken the rest. They've recovered. They're now kicking on the final climb, trying to close the gap down. And in fact, they are indeed bringing the gap back now. So Category 2 doing what they've done all race, chasing a group out front, and they continue to work to do that. The gap now coming down. Ruben Don onto the front of the chase group, the rider in the polka dot skin suit, holding the most points in that Category 2 sprint comp. Okay. I'm going to pause and I'm going to rewind. Ruben Dont holding the most points in that climbing competition in that polka dot skin suit, pushing on with indeed Simon Walter and Marcin Trojanowski. The gap was 20 plus seconds. It's now down to 6. They've waited till the climb, but now they are working. They're letting the group of 2 go out, get a gap, bring them back on the climb, go out, get a gap, bring them back on the climb. That's the pattern in Category 2 at the moment. And there's one climb to the finish. It's 2.7 kilometres long. Can they reel them back in the women's race? We saw the catches being made. No spoilers, but it was great racing on this course. The men's race is lining up to be brilliant as well, as we've got all 6 categories. Category 1, Category 2, Category 3, Category 4, 5 and 6 all out on the course. And take a look at this. Dylan Kennett leading the Category 6 race at the 45.4 kilometre marker, is now on the final climb. 1 hour and 16 minutes of racing complete. He is 2 minutes clear of the chase group behind, but it's a big group of riders behind. At last count, it were 10 riders in that chasing group in Category 6. A 44.5, 1 kilometre behind him, the Category 5 leaders. And take a look at that group are indeed... No, this is the Category 5 chase group, and I can tell you that because I can still see the lone leader on that scene. So I think Christian Spiedel is still leading the Category 5 race with a chase group behind. Now, chasing Dylan Kennett is indeed Cameron Dadson. Erickson Perez is there as well. The riders in that chase group of 10 now getting stretched on that climb as they continue to work. They're now out on the climb, and you can see the gap to Kennett, 1 minute 33. It is pushing and working and changing because of the gradient the riders are on and the pace at which they are moving. But Dadson moving faster than Kennett. Different gradients. You can see as they're on that climb, and it's going to be an interesting final climb in that Category 6 race. Can that chase group catch Kennett? Can Kennett stay clear? He stayed clear last time to take the win. It is already becoming a great race in Category 6. It's been a great race in all of our categories today here on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. This is Qualifier 1 in February. We're in Alula, 47.8 kilometres of racing, 566 metres of climbing. Category 2 on the right-hand side of your screen, it's Graves and X100 working. They are working strongly, but they need to take it in turns. The chase group are not bothered in chasing. They are chasing on the climbs. It's been really interesting to watch the dynamic and them letting them keep these two out in front. Category 1, we've got two riders out front as well, Osborne and Vink. The chase group, well, that was 24 seconds back at last count. We head to the front of the race because Dylan Kennett is leading Category 6. He's also leading on the road at the moment. He's on the right-hand side of your screen in the polka dot banner. On the left-hand side of your screen, Christian Spiedel in Category 5 has done a sterling job of staying clear of the Category 5 chase group. They are coming now behind him and racing hard, but they've got the chase group in Category 6 between Spiedel and the chasing pack in Category 5. The climb is what separates these two leaders from the finish line. The chase groups, will they close the gap down? It's over a minute for Kennett. Spiedel, well, it's not over a minute. You can see that group behind, and I think they are at around 20 seconds. So Christian Spiedel in Category 5, the gap is nowhere near as big as Dylan Kennett in Category 6, but he is indeed climbing and climbing strongly towards the finish today. So Dylan Kennett comes towards the last 1,500 metres of this race today in Alula. He's been riding and racing for an hour and 20 minutes. Last time out on the course, well, it was 83 minutes 41, his winning time, and I can tell you that because he won the Category 6 race on this course last time out. It was indeed his only win on the Sunday Race Club so far. It looks like Alula, the Vessel Rock course, is his course because Kennett is looking like he's going to do the double on this course and he's going to ride himself into the number 1 spot again in Category 6. Christian Spiedel on the left-hand side on the bottom. He is not far behind, only around 300 metres. He's leading the Category 5 race. Category 4, well, they are coming too. They are on the lower slopes of the climb. And Category 3, David Goodall is leading the charge. They are very shortly to see the polka dot banner signifying the start of the final climb of the day. So all 6 of our races today on the Men's Sunday Race Club coming towards the final stages. It's nail-biting stuff out here as the racing is neck and neck. Category 2 on the right-hand side of your screen, X100 and Phil Graves have gone clear of the chase group behind. They're clear by 18 seconds of that chase group. Now that chase group, 14 riders in there, and well, there's some phenomenal climbers in there as well, including Ruben Dont, who's wearing that polka dot skin suit. They're going to run through the 3 rollers and then they're going to move through the final sprint section before they hit the final climb of the day. They're on the right hand side of your screen. On the left hand side of your screen, Michael Vink and Jason Osborne, the 2 leaders in the Category 1 race. Now that gap was at 24 seconds. It's now at 36. So they are extending their lead over the 4-man chase group that we saw last time out when we were here with Category 1. On the bottom of your screen, these are the leaders in the Category 5 and Category 6 race. Really, really interesting racing unfolding here. So Dylan Kennett is in his final 600 metres on the climb. He is clear of the group behind. The group behind, however, Christian Spiedel is the next rider on the road. He's the leader in the Category 5 race. He's got around a 30-second gap back to the chasing group, and that chasing group are coming hard behind him. So the race is on in Category 5, but in Category 6, Dylan Kennett took the win in Alula in Qualifier 3 in January when we were here last time. It looks as though he is going to do the business today in Category 6 again, because Dylan Kennett is over a minute clear of the chase group in Category 6. And very shortly, he's going to see that UCI banner. It is literally just around the bend. So we watch Dylan Kennett take the applause of the crowd. We watch him sight the UCI banner through the arch. The final 100 metres of the race for Dylan Kennett today. He went clear of the Category 6 race field, and however hard they tried, they could not reel him back in. He has gained more time on the final climb today, and he is going to take the win in the Category 6 race. He's going to do the double. He won in Alula in Qualifier 3 in January. He's going to win in Alula Category 6 for Qualifier 1 in February. Dylan Kennett is the winner in Category 6 today. Christian Spiedel rode away from the Category 5 field early on. He's done the business and he has stayed clear. The race is on behind, but Christian Spiedel takes the win in Category 5 today. The chase is on behind, and Jonathan Cridland, Tortoretto, Lempinen, Matil are all racing, but Cridland is going to take second place from Tortoretto, from Lempinen. It's going to be those riders over the line in Category 5. So Spiedel from Cridland in Category 5. Tortoretto, Lempinen. Mattila takes 5th place in that race today. Well, not much further back down the climb, it was the Category 3 race, the Category 4 race, those that need to unfold on the final slopes. But yet to hit the final slopes are the Category 2 leaders, Graves and X100. The gap now back to the chase group, just 7 seconds. The chase group are indeed using the climbs to bring the gap down. They're letting these two riders go on the flatter sections, and then they're digging deep on the climbs to bring them back. There's one final climb of 2.7 kilometres to go for Category 2. They've got to get there yet, but first there is indeed Category 4, and it's Grun leading this out. Grun is leading out, but Cy Bradley is coming fast. Bradley, Holtz, Miller are the riders charging from behind. Can Grun stay clear of Bradley? The pace is good, the pace is strong, but the UCI banner is not here yet. It's got 200 metres to go, and the kick is on from Cy Bradley behind, but Grun's pace is stronger at the moment. Can Bradley make this? I'm not sure he can. I think, Grun is going to make this to the banner first and take the win in the Category 4 race. It's Grun, Bradley and Holtz. They're going to be the top 3 today. Which order is it going to be? It's going to be Grun under the line. There he goes, underneath the UCI banner to take the win in Category 4. Grun. Cy Bradley is going to take second place today in Category 4. Torsten Holtz is going to come through for third place. JJ Miller, I think, is going to take 4th, but, well, the race is on for 5th. So Category 3 now coming to the top of the climb as well. And Che Holweiler has done a sterling job to race clear of the group here in Category 3. Big group of Category 3 riders, and you can see them in the distance. Holweiler's gone clear on the climb. The final climb, Adam Stedman is 10 seconds back. So Holweiler doing the business and doing the sterling job here today. Going to be taking the applause of the crowd, because I don't think they can do anything about Holweiler now. There he is on the screen. Take a look at the effort to win this race in Category 3 today from Holweiler. He is bouncing on those pedals. He sees the UCI banner. He sits down. The effort, the work it has taken to ride clear of the group. Holweiler is going to take the win today in Category 3. Congratulations, number 1, Category 3, Jay Holweiler. Well, the race is on behind him. Marvin Angarita takes the second place in the sprint. Oh, Angarita takes the sprint behind from Stedman, Ridley, Kochakov, and Orego. Holweiler knew he needed to work for that, and work for it he did. So all of our race categories are in now and under the UCI banner, with the exception of the two race fields in front of us now. Category 2 on the right hand side of your screen at 45.3 kilometres. We have had Phil Graves in the breakaway for a long time. Michael Manchando was also there too early on. He dropped back into the main group. X100 then took up the mantle with Phil Graves, and those two riders have been clear. Michael Manchando has now crossed the bridge from the group to the leaders here, and it's a leading group of 3. 11 seconds back to the chase group. They are on the bottom right of your screen. Troshanowski, Krasnich, SS. Look at the size of the group. It's a good-sized chase group. This is going to be an interesting final few kilometres. They're coming up for the final 2K to go in Category 2. Category 1, we have still got Jason Osborne and Michael Vink clear of the chase group of 4. They too are working their way towards the finish line now. But Category 2, well, they are the next riders we are going to see. And the race is on here. Take a look at this. This is the group of riders working strongly on the climb. They have let the riders out front and stay out front on the flatlands, and then they have tried to reel them back in on the climbs. The group have taken more rest, more recovery on the flatlands than the leaders, and they have been able to push strongly on the climbs. And look at that. Marcin Troshanowski's on our screen. You can see the effort on his face. Heart rate at 172. He is climbing and climbing strongly at the moment as part and parcel of the leaders of this group. Gladness is there as well. He took the win on this course last time out in Category 2. SS is there as well, and they are slowly reeling the leading 3 riders back in. It is now at 9 seconds, the gap to the leading 3. There's 2 Category 3 riders in the gap. Juan Rios and Ryan Giuliano. No slouches themselves, but they are in the gap between these leading 3 in the Category 2 race and the chase group behind. It's down to 10 seconds now as they are coming up to 1,500 metres to go in the Category 2 race. In the Category 1 race on the left-hand side of your screen, Osborne and Vink are still together on the climb. They are coming up to 2.5 kilometres to go. They have been locked together for some time now, these two. It's going to be interesting to see who attacks. Will Osborne make the attack first? Will Vink attack Osborne? Who is going to lead the charge? Who is going to win the race? And who is going to... Oh, that's going to be an interesting one to see who blinks first. But Manchando, Graves and X100, the 3 riders leading the Category 2 race, they are at 46.6 kilometres, 1.2k to go. It's a 9-second gap. The gap is coming down, but have they got enough road left to stay clear, or have they got too much road left, and are that group going to catch? That is the question. Manchando and Graves push and kick. X100 is the rider in danger at the moment because Michael Manchando, Philip Graves are the 2 riders now riding clear of X100. They didn't want to get caught from behind, and it looks as though Michael Manchando wants to win the race. Absolutely dialing it. You can see the chase group behind, but they are now getting distanced because of the push on the front here on the final stages of the race. They've got 600 metres to go, and it's Manchando versus Graves on the right-hand side of your screen. X100 now risks getting caught from Trojanowski and Gledness and Nitko, who are leading the charge from behind on the left-hand side of your screen. Phil Graves, can he take a win? It's been some time since Phil Graves has taken a win on the Sunday Race Club. Michel Manchando, can he take the win today? Graves is on the wheel. Manchando's leading this out. They are coming up toward the finish, but they've still got 300 meters to go. Trojanowski's at 17 seconds now, coming hard from behind. X100, I think, is out of this and may risk getting caught for third place today because the pack are rolling strongly behind. But Manchando and Graves, well, they are neck and neck at the moment. Graves kicks. Does he want to come up and over the top of Manchando as they go past the Category 6 riders? Manchando is leading it out. Graves is coming from behind. Graves goes to 8.6 watts per kilo. Can Manchando hold this? Can Graves come over the top? Can Mikel Manchando take the win? I think he's gonna. Mikel Manchando takes the win in Category 2. Phil Graves comes through for second place. Carlos Ospina, I think, is going to take third place because the battle is on behind is Ospina. I think Nitko and Gledness might just take that. Whoa, that was so close for third place there. Mikel Manchando takes the win. Phil Graves in 2, Harvey Gledness in 3, David Nitko and Carlos Ospina, those 3 in the sprint for third place. I need to take a breath. Well, Jason Osborne and Michael Vink have battled it together out on the front of the Category 1 race. They've got 1 kilometre left to go. Osborne is stuck to Vink's wheel. Look at that. Now Vink is stuck to Osborne's wheel. These 2 riders are glued together in their battle for the win in the Category 1 race. The chasing group behind 4 riders. There we have them on the screen behind us. Vujasin and Andreasen now. We had 4 riders in the leading group. It's looking like we've seen a push on the climb and 2 riders go clear. So we have Osborne and Vink on the left-hand side of your screen leading the race. We have Vujasin and Andreasen in third and fourth, working their way up the climb. They are around 250 metres behind Osborne and Vink. But for me now, on the final run-in to the finish line, who is going to take the win? Have we ever seen a sprint between Michael Vink and Jason Osborne before? I don't think we have. Normally, we've seen Osborne just dominate on the climbs and ride away. Vink goes on to the back wheel of Osborne. Who's going to launch this? Who's going to open it up first? They've got 400 metres to go, 300 metres to go. This is going to be Osborne versus Vink in a sprint today. The banner is just around the corner through that arch. Vink is on the front. Osborne's on the wheel. Can Vink lead this out from the front? Will Jason Osborne take it in the sprint? Michael Vink pushes on the power slightly. Jason Osborne launches the sprint from behind. Osborne goes. What can Vink do? Vink responds, but I think he responds too late. Jason Osborne's going to take the win here, I think, in the sprint today. Osborne outsprints Michael Vink for the win. The world champion shows his sprinting prowess on the Sunday Race Club. Well, Jason Osborne takes the win from Michael Vink in the sprint. And yet again, another sprint lining up for third place today. That's the banner. This is Vujasin versus Andreasen. Vujasin has gone at 14. Andreasen's at 13. Is Vujasin going to do the business here today? I think he is for third place. Lionel Vujasin's going to outsprint Bjorn Andreasen for third place today. Vujasin takes third. Andreasen takes fourth. Stefan van Elst, I think, is going to come in for fifth place today. Michael Knudsen will take sixth. That was some finish in Category 1. Well, it was some finish in all of our race categories today. Ollie Jones is going to come through and across the line for 7th place today in the Category 1 race. What a race today. We've seen some phenomenal riders riding away from the race field to solo victories. sprints coming in over the line for places, and a sprint royale from Jason Osborne, the world champion, and Michael Vink, and then Andreasen and Vu Yassin for third place as well. Ollie Jones comes over the line today. What a race! What a finish! It's February on the Sunday Race Club, and let's just check out the time. So Jason Osborne takes the win today in 1 hour, 6 minutes, 36 seconds. Michael Vink 2 seconds back, out-sprinted on the line. Lionel Vu Yassin and Bjorn Andre takes 6th. Ollie Jones takes 7th. And then in the Category 2 race, that was won by Mikhail Manchando. Phil Graves takes 2nd place. Gledness 3rd. Nick Coe 4th. Ospina 5th. Mendakowicz took 6th. Che Holweiler took the win in Category 3. Marvin Angarita took 2nd place in the sprint from Adam Stedman, Lewis Ridley, Oleg Kochikev. In Category 4, I'm scrolling. Yeah, Groon took the win from Cy Bradley and Torsten Holtz. JJ Miller and Joshua Haggerty rounded out the top 5 in Category 4. In Category 5, well, it was Christian Spiedel who took the win from Jonathan Cridland, Felipe Tortoretto, Lemponen and Mattila. And then in Category 6, we saw Dylan Kennett ride away from the rest of the race field to take the win. Teron took 2nd place from Demanuan, Dadson, and Riley Millistick takes 5th place today in Category 6. Well, welcome to February, everybody. The women's race and the men's race have not disappointed. I hope you have enjoyed the racing with me, Emma Martin, today. It's been an absolute pleasure putting words to the action. See, I told you first thing that we didn't need Walt van Aert and Matthew van der Poel lining up on the Cyclocross National World Championships today. The racing action would be here. And I'll tell you something, the Sunday Race Club has not disappointed in the women's or the men's race today. Now, later today, back on MyWhoosh, I will be joined by Brad Sona in the commentary box because we will be bringing you the Elite Women and Elite Men USA National Cycling Esports Championships. If you wondered where those USA riders were today on the Sunday Race Club, well, they'll be warming up and getting ready for the USA Cycling Esports National Championships. Join us later. Set your watches. It's going to be a cracker. But the Sunday Race Club, it was a cracker as well today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Stay safe. Enjoy your riding. We'll see you again soon. Goodbye.